is you interlock the two.
Now stretch them quite as...
Soccer and the...
Quiet, please. In exactly 15 seconds, we'll be on the air.
I felt like a reptile. I felt like a reptile.
Is that a thing?
We're going. No, I can't use that. We're going no further than you need to show the podcast.
Yeah.
You need to show me what you bought. Why the fuck would you have bought that?
What, chorizo?
A whole chorizo.
I thought there was 2 chorizos.
Are you gonna do a spinal tap and wrap it in tinfoil and put it down your throat?
For the sake of just audio, that is a 12-inch chorizo.
Check.
Just measure it on the inside of your leg. Jesus. Why have we got this? Just to munch on.
Hungry.
Just have a munch on. Someone buy a pepperami.
But why has it got staples in it? What's the purpose of this bit?
I don't know. I'm not allowed to eat chorizo.
Why?
It gives me bad acid.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So like, if anyone has a pepperoni pizza, even if they take the pepperoni off, if I eat it, that little puddle of grease in there, it just fucking sets me on fire.
Why is there? What's this for? Do you know what this is for?
Just
So you
don't,
can swing it around.
yeah. Don't eat them bits. So you can do a helicopter.
What are you trying to do, mister? You hijack my spot.
Yeah.
It's my goddamn podcast. You stay out of this.
That's a sound bite. Welcome to Full Reptile Radio. This is my podcast.
What?
Do you what?
Just take a big bite out of it. That's what you're supposed
Get a
to
mouthful
do.
of meat.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Full Reptile Radio.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back, baby.
We're back.
Feels
But-
good, man.
Yeah, well, we've been worldwide.
We literally
We've been
worldwide.
worldwide.
Yeah, you more so than me, but
Yeah, but you've been on holiday.
I've been hopping. Yeah, I
You went to a place that I've never been before. How was it?
It was amazing.
Well, where was it?
Okay, so we went to Bulgaria.
Nice.
For whatever reason, every year we go on holiday. What the fuck? Every year we go on holiday, we try and go to the same place again the next year, and it's always gone up like a grand. So Stace found Bulgaria. You good there?
Yeah, carry on.
No, it's all right. We can have this live link into this.
Yeah.
So the first thing I always thought of when I thought of Bulgaria was like people eating cabbage water and just,
Cabbage water.
do you know what I mean? I didn't know what to expect.
You've just insulted a whole nation of people.
No, because they can smash a cabbage out. They know what they're doing with that shit. They got, oh man, you're sending the dogs into an absolute frenzy. This is like the beginning of fucking Annie, where there's a dog catcher about.
Who let the dogs out? That's definitely his walkout song.
It's a
isn't
Pied
it?
Piper moment, isn't it?
Hey. After Mystery's been chaos. See, this is why it's a no meat zone. Come here. Calm down, you.
Ben,
I know you're excited. I know there's lots happening.
this is blowing my fucking mind. This is like
Come and sit here.
next
Lay
level
down. Good
trippy.
girl.
No, you're good, man. Ben,
Here we go.
Ben will
Okay.
be quiet. He'll just want to eat your meat.
Eat your meat.
So,
Yeah, so Bulgaria.
Bulgaria. So, all people were telling us, it's dirt cheap. It's dirt cheap. But what I found was, because we try not to fly too far because of obviously the children, like whenever we've been to Spain and stuff, it's all good, but sometimes it seems a bit tired. So it's like going to a theme park that you went to as a kid, going back now, and they've never changed it.
Yeah.
Like American Adventure springs to mind, Gulliver's Kingdom. If anyone from around this area has been to anything like that, there'll be a ride or something, or like a fucking papier-mâché man that you sit and have a picture with, and he's still never been painted again.
No, got like no nose and like 2 fingers missing.
Yeah, and someone's written some random shit on there. So
It's like he's got frostbite.
yeah, for real.
Are we doing a duet? Is that what's going on here?
But it's the exact same as when you were a kid. And obviously, being old fuckers that we are now, you start noticing shit like this. Well, Bulgaria just seemed to embrace the trade way more. Like Spain and places like that have already got a massive tourism industry.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Are you mic'd up? So
This is why normal production companies break for lunch.
yeah.
So lunch is not going on in the background.
But this is why normal production companies take 6 months to put something
true.
out. So
That's true.
we can live with it if you've got a mouthful of chorizo.
Yeah.
been a
So
long time.
as we were saying, so how was it? So
Awesome.
overall,
Amazing, because they didn't have the
water
same
parks.
health and safety. Yeah, this is it.
okay.
So like it was good because having small children and being an idiot, like when you go to a water park, normally they go, you have to sit like this and do this. Whereas this, the first day, we were sat on this slide and it was so steep. And this was just at the hotel. There was 2 slides, a blue and a red. And the red was mad steep. And basically you go down it and it'd make your feet tingle. It was that fast. And then you'd skim across the water. So I was sat there and we kept going up, chucking the kids down. It's fucking brilliant. Everyone having a wicked time. And then next minute, this Scottish guy came behind me and said, watch this, or watch this fucker. Ran full bollocks across the platform, dived down the fucking slide, halfway down, lifted himself and shot again and hit the other end of the pool. And I was like, fucking hell. And so he came back up the ladder. I was like, are you allowed to do that? And he goes, no one's told me for a week, so fuck it. I'm going home tomorrow. I'm going to carry on. And from then on, we were sending Stacey's mum down, her dad, everyone's going down on their back. It was fucking brilliant. So for someone to not care, if you're watching your own kids, you're all right. But yeah, no health and safety. And they took a lot of care of everything. There's like, when you go to a restaurant, there was a woman that sat at the toilet all day. I was like,
What to wipe and stuff?
yeah, touch your toes. Come on, all the way.
It's one of those
Shake
kind
it.
of holidays.
Yeah,
was it?
crazy, yeah.
Nice,
and not even
nice.
expensive to wipe. Cheap.
And you got some good. So you discovered you had a waterproof camera while you were there.
Oh, man, yeah. Which is a bit...
We need to drop one of these videos into this.
It's kind of unnerving.
Where you're going down backwards.
Yeah,
That's
this
brilliant.
is it. The minute
Big
that we-
grin on his face, going down this flume backwards.
back all the way, just smiling. And then we were like, oh, we could go down forward. Just like children, just with the camera for the first time ever.
Smell that stick.
Oh, sorry, dude.
Chuck it on the floor.
I'll chuck it here. I'll put it here. I like Razor Ramon. So, yeah, there was a lot of, like, once... You know, to get like £1,000 phone and you read it and it says, this is waterproof to a meter. To go from that to then go, bloop, it's really fucking nervy because like the kids wanting to dive in and we wanted to get them dive and go underwater. And I shit myself the first, because last year Stacey's phone broke on holiday because she got it wet. So this year I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, it says it's waterproof. I was like,
Did you back it up before? Did you?
yeah, she did. I left it to it. My phone stayed in the hotel. I was like, nope. Even though it says mine's waterproof, I'm like, I ain't fucking with that.
No.
So yeah, we got some wicked film of that. All of it. Yeah, I highly recommend going there. It was wicked and cheap. And mate, the things I've seen and the shit I can tell you, which I will throughout this, is gonna fucking spin you out. But the thing, because obviously we were just talking what we're going to talk about, and it's been a while. So the last thing I did before I went away, as a work-ish thing, I had to go to the NEC to go and pick up the Fight Town banner for Rigor.
Yes.
Shout out to Rigor the Dragon.
I went to see Rigor yesterday.
How was
Went
that?
down to Gloucester. It was awesome. I can't wait to see what they do with that banner because it's massive, isn't it?
It's honestly, when you see it up in the air, it was like, that's fucking big.
Yeah.
And then when I turned up, now bear in mind, right, when we were going to collect the banner, it was the school holidays. So it was the one day that I had both the girls, and they sort of woke me up with a deal. If we're going to go and collect this thing, can we have a McDonald's breakfast? I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, I suppose so. And the thing is, because I wanted a lie-in, it was like 9:45. So it went full Big Daddy with Adam Sandler, and we're like racing to fucking McDonald's. So basically, the girls, and anyone with kids that's ever done this with small children, I was like, get dressed, we're going to go. Libby, my youngest, came out in like hot pants and a vest. Moo came out with a crop top and leggings and like this weird hoodie. And so I never thought anything of it. I was just like, let's fucking bounce. So then when we got there, I was like, I'm going to be seen in public with these children. I was like, oh, fuck, it looks like I've stolen them and just done a Tom and Jerry clothesline thing and like just robbed anything from the neighbour's garden. So we're walking in, and the banner, when we spread it out, was so big we had to re-roll it.
Yeah.
So then we get that in. And then you'd mentioned, why don't you go to Events World, which I can highly recommend. It was fucking brilliant. It cost me about 150 quid in Carhartt and 20 quid at the arcade, but it was fucking insane. And
It's empty, right?
Yeah.
I was there for Bellator with Jimmy, and we were walking around after the weigh-ins and stuff, and I was just like, there's just nobody there.
mate, they had everything. So in one row, there was like Vans, Carhartt, North Face, And obviously, the kids wouldn't let me go in all of them because I was just stood there like geeking out, wanting to buy all the shit. And they're like, "No, we can go on that fucking ride and buy squishes and bullshit." So we had to appease them a bit. But one of the things that stood out from going on the way there, I'd nipped in to see Wayne at Forth and given him some bits. So then I went to the bakery we used to go to, and it's one of them where my inner rage just boiled a little bit because, like, you know, when you've got a busy day, you're trying to deal with kids. I want to get them some food. I went in. And I told the girls we're going to go in to buy Mum a cornflake square, like I bought here that time. That, you know, that old school school dinner pudding.
Yeah.
And there was one left, and I said to the girls, "We're going to get Mummy that." So I didn't make a deal of it because that bakery is always fucking rammed. There's about 20 people in there. So I stood there, and next minute the girls started making a big fuss about looking at this cornflake tart and be like, "Oh, is that the one?" Blah blah, talking away. So then this fucking big youth, like, were third in the queue next to go. Went up and went, "I'll have ham and cheese on a white roll with salad and that cornflake tart." And I was like, whoa. Is this the last one? Have you only fucking thought of the cornflake tart because these two have been talking about it? And he's like, "No." And I nearly went full fucking ragger. And I was like, "What are you doing, my dude?" And he stole, luckily there was more, so I didn't have to set the kids on him. But it's weird how I think like someone else's enthusiasm into something can force someone else to fucking piss me off.
Yeah. I can see it.
Stupid,
right,
but fucking rolled me off the clock.
So how was it not being on the podcast then and watching it from a distance?
It hurt.
Did it?
Yeah, it was kind of.
I was
weird.
wondering. I mean, I did think that we're just like we could just like not do a podcast because I didn't want to offend you. But then I thought to myself, well, the fans will want to hear
this
something.
Is it.
And
I wanted to hear something. I didn't know if you and Mystery were going to do it, so I was like, okay.
We were going to, but then Terry Brazier and Adam Amasinger showed up at training, so I was like,
that works.
We've got to hear their stories because obviously we had a fight just last weekend, just gone, and then Adam's this weekend. So.
And it was super interesting as well. There's not as many tangents,
no.
which I was quite proud of.
No,
because there's only a certain way you can take a thing. But what Terry was talking about was fascinating because I was obviously where we were is 2 hours ahead, so I was catching up with a load of stuff like that. But it's weird to see you sat in here with Eric the Gentleman, Adam and Terry here, and I was like, oh man. And as much as I was in baking sunshine, not caring the world, everything was fucking brilliant. I was still like, oh man, I wish I was talking on that. So it's good. And then because there was quite a bit of feedback as well, of people saying, "Where the fuck is Owen?" And I was like, oh, that's weird. I'm not just a useless wanker.
Well, there you go then.
So
I mean,
that was good.
Maybe it was worth you missing a couple of weeks so you could see how much the fans missed you.
No, because I just started Billy walking around fucking Bulgaria. Taxi, please.
Yeah.
I'm not paying.
It was weird though. I mean, it was great talking to Conan as well though. I mean,
yeah, man.
Oh, what a mind on a guy.
Insane.
Some things that he's been saying have been repeating in my brain since those conversations. He's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, and I think what I've always liked about him is there's no flamboyance. There's no like Charlie Big Potatoes. It's a case of you do it or you don't.
Yeah,
I know exactly what I'm doing, and he just doesn't seem to get drawn up into any sort of bullshit. You remember the Black Zillions and
ATT. The rival, the tough, the ultimate fighter.
And there was one side more so than the other always seemed to be a bit more Hollywood, a bit more I've got to say this, I've got to do that, whereas it was more a case of just put up or shut up, really, which in the fight game speaks volumes. So yeah, Conan for me is one of them that it's almost like Remco for me because I know him on a personal level. Not everyone of the Conor McGregor era would see him and know exactly who he is, but actually to understand what he knows and his insight into something, where if you look at it as like who would queue up for an autograph for whatever reason, like the Conor queue, for example, would be out the door, whereas when you've got OGs like Remco, Conan, Mike Brown, all these people that you haven't necessarily seen in this generation, you'd be like, fuck man, I'm going to talk to him. And that's sort of what I got from that. And it was, you just seemed way comfortable sat in that environment.
Like if MMA was a tree, like the McGregor era is that green canopy right on the top, and Conan is the trunk.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's one of those like Hoist Gracie, Marco Huas.
Yes.
Mark Kerr, Mark Coleman.
Yeah.
A lot of Marks and
yes.
Marcuses.
Yeah, there was. Yeah. Dom Fry,
yeah. Of course. Dan Severn, Tank
Cabbage,
Abbott, Cabbage. Yeah, see, I would put Cabbage the next generation That Cabbage was for me like Tim Sylvia generation.
Okay, yeah. Well, he fought Tank a couple of times, didn't he? But that was later on in Tank's career. Okay, well, I take that. Yeah, but you're looking at
We'll
more
have to do this sometime.
Shamrock.
We'll have to get a bunch of the Topps trading cards.
Just play
and we'll have
Mallet.
to start categorizing them out.
do that.
First generation MMA fighter, second generation. Like I'm probably like fourth or fifth, I would say.
Yes, yeah, which feels weird to say. I mean, we were talking about it earlier when we were talking about tattoos and how weird it is to see yourself. How weird it is to see yourself without tattoos when you've walked and lived in this skin for such a long time. But it was almost when, obviously, from the podcast you did with Conan, was everyone asked you when you're going to fight next. And for me, it's more that tail of the tape shot of you against Amir Sadala. Because I saw a fight of you with one sleeve and I was like, huh?
Weird, right?
That's weird as fuck, yeah. Even with the mohawk sometimes, when I'm looking for a graphic to use on the website and there's not that many that is as salt and pepper and fucking crude as you are now, it's always got a bit of mohawk. I'm like, that's not done. No, next. And it's the tail of the tape picture. If you looked at one of you against Amir, you still had quite a lot of tattoos, but when you look at now, if you were to have a shot now, it'd be so different.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how quickly that transfers.
I'm feeling that coming again as well. I'm feeling another rash of tattooing coming on. I've got a few planned for Vegas. When we get out to Vegas, I've got a few I want to get done there.
I want to get a load done, but I still want to swim as well. So I want to get.
So we'll have to do it towards the end of the week.
Yeah, I'll have all my swimming out of my way, and then I'll probably get my tattoos at some point.
There we go. Yeah.
Talking about the first generation of fighters, I know jumping through cards a little bit, which we're kind of going to do because we've got a month to catch up on. Barberena this weekend. There he is.
Again.
I love it, man. Why not? He's surprised me ever since he fought Sage. But do you not think he is part of the first generation, just born late? And that's not taking anything away from his skill set or anything, but he just takes mad punches and just keeps coming forward. Would
you say that Gaethje is as well then?
Oh, 100%.
Like spirit of the first generation.
Yeah. Like
I can see that.
You'd almost, if you had a category then and you had to reallocate the fighters that are now, you'd take someone like Khabib and put him into the GSP era, which is like a specialist of a certain era, or even
Maia.
Matt Hughes, Damian Maia, GSP. Whereas there's certain people that come out and it's just, holy shit, this is insane.
Next level.
Yeah. So it just made me think, because when I was watching him, I like watching Barberena, but it was one of them where his style way fit something that wasn't as it didn't have as much fight IQ as things do now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's got a wicked chin and I think he knows that.
Yeah. That he's the kind of fighter that has a particular style. And he brings that to the table every time he fights, and it works or it doesn't. Yeah. You know? And it might work early, it might work late. Cardio's a weapon, toughness is a weapon, you know. Whereas like you look at some of the other guys on the card, I mean, let's talk about the UFC fights. Let's talk about it. Like if you look at some of the other fighters on the card, they're far more. Luis Pena, for example, was one of the most impressive performances for me. I felt bad for Matt Wyman because you could see that, dude. And he kind of wore his heart on his sleeve the whole fight week as well. He was talking about how he was feeling nervous and how he expected to feel like that. There was a real conscious process to fight week, and he was quite honest with how he was, but like he just looked overwhelmed.
He looked smaller. He looked like he's in the wrong weight class.
Or is that rather Pena is in the wrong weight class?
Huge,
he is massive,
and he's obviously his hair makes him look bigger as well. But it was more. I mean, Matt Wyman fought on UFC Knots. He submitted Sass. Was it Paul Sass? Is it Paul Sass?
Yeah, I
Triangle.
think so.
He actually triangled the Triangle Master.
Yeah, I cornered against him with Mac Danzig.
Yeah, but so he's been there forever. And the thing is,
armbar first round.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. But he had no one in his corner. Like when he came over to Knots, he had him and his girlfriend. And I was like, yo, where's your banner? Where's your stuff? And he's like, I haven't got anything. I just came here and I fought. And it's like, that's a massive, it is an old school mentality. Like it's completely.
Bit Carlos Newton.
Yeah. And Evan Tanner.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of style, just fuck it.
Yeah. I think maybe that's a shift in the sport then. Maybe that's where, you know, people are now starting to settle in bigger gyms and we're starting to see those outliers, Matt Wyman being one of them, not quite fitting in the modern day, you know? Like he didn't, I mean, and I'm not putting it down to the fact that his preparation was wrong. I just think that I think that in order to beat someone like Luis Pena, you need to be working with people of that kind of size.
It's a massive evolution.
And to find someone as awkward as that, you need to be at a big gym, really.
I'd love to hear Luis Pena's honest opinion of what minute in what round he thought to himself, what the fuck is it going to take to get this guy done?
Yeah.
Because there was so many times it was catching him, everything was clean, he was looking good, but you're like, he's not going anywhere. Because the thing is, you look at people of the older generation that you look at, like Mike Thomas Brown, that found his feet in training and coaching. Because I mean, he beat Faber.
Yeah.
Was it twice?
Yeah.
Beat Faber twice. I mean, that was huge. When Faber was on like a 17 fight or 15 fight unbeaten streak, beat him twice and fought Jose, and then sort of came into the UFC and was like, do you know what? I'm good. Whereas Faber was still doing it, but to me, he was slightly above because he'd beaten him twice.
Yeah.
But to see what he's done and what he's passing on is phenomenal. Whereas when you see someone like Matt Wyman that's got all that knowledge, but sort of hasn't found that peg yet just to sit into.
I think he'd probably be a better coach as well than he is a fighter. Like Mike Piles now coaching. And I think the same thing Amazing. For him. As good as a fighter as he was, I think he'll be better as a coach in the long run. And I would say the same about Matt Wyman. And I think a part of that is because his knowledge surpasses his technical ability.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm probably a lot like that as well. Like what I know and what I can do are two different things. And I think coaching someone that has the physical capability of doing something.
Yeah.
Like I can teach Terry some of the best techniques to cut the cage down and force someone to deal with his game. And I can teach Adam Amasinghe how to, circle around and snipe from the outside and use his athleticism and his speed to his advantage. I can't necessarily do it myself. Yeah. And I think that maybe there was a point in that fight where you could kind of tell Matt Wyman was like, fuck, like, man. Yeah, like there must have been that question a few times in his head, especially when he got back to his corner and he'd already been opened up. That was a rough first round.
Yeah, it's almost unfair that you look at, as much as the weight's the same, the fact that fucking Pena's stretched out so much longer, and because like you were saying about coaching, Matt Wyman isn't necessarily tall enough or long enough. So if he's got the skill set to pass on to someone like a Stefan Struve or a Pena or someone, say, if you did it like this, so even if he enforced his game, but then had the bonus of like an extra, 6-inch reach or whatever it is, it makes a massive difference because that's where you see someone like Mike Brown or Faber or whatever to be able to look at a different person that's not as small as they are. I mean, they're coaching people who are huge and getting the best out of them. Same as Ludwig. Ludwig almost does it in reverse. Yeah. Because he's so long and tall, he's like, oh, fuck, well, you got to get on the inside and you got T-Rex arms. So, like,
yeah. But then you look at the style that Ludwig had when he was fighting and the style that his fighters are showing us now. And they're very different things as well. It's like there's an advancement in what you know and what you can teach. And Matt Wyman, I think, is that, like, imagine if he was training Luis Pena. Yeah. Like, this is it. I would imagine he'd be able to pass on a lot of really interesting and useful information that Pena isn't necessarily using at the moment. But, it was frustrating to watch him because a part of me felt like I wanted to see him fight someone else kind of on his level, like on his trajectory. Yeah. Like there are some guys. I mean, what weight class was it? Was it featherweight or lightweight?
Well, when you got people like Clay, Guida,
155. So like you could have had Matt Wyman fight someone like Jim Miller.
Exactly.
Joe Lozon.
Yes.
They'd have been good fights.
People like
Clay would have been a good fight. Yeah. Someone of a similar kind of, like, we're not a contender anymore. Like, Pena's on the rise. He's 7-1. There's a potential that he's going to be challenging for a title. It's like, can't say the same about Wyman.
If they were compared to the registration of cars, like an S-Reg, you don't fight ones that are now the 02, 03 plates. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if you're the old school version, like a 98 R-Reg, or a 2000 W, like your time.
This is the not worldwide part.
Yeah, this is the British. So basically, we had letters. So it went from A to Z. A to Y, and that was the years. And then when we ran out of years, they changed it to like 01, 02, and all the rest of it. So that now to me is still quite a new thing, even though it's fucking old as shit. The difference is when you see an old R Reg or an N Reg or M or whatever it is, they're sort of, you can't compare that to like your current car because it's a fucking world apart because of the the ABS or the electric windows or whatever it is. So there's a certain element that it's still fucking good and it was good quality.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as the next generation.
Yeah.
And you get some people like Diego that'll get one, drop one, get one. Or even like Cowboy to a degree. Mm-hmm. Like, the thing is, we were on this massive hype at the minute of Cowboy, but we got to remember is like, Till had a word, and so did
Edwards.
Edwards had a word, and looked good doing it. So I mean, as much as Cowboy's had this newfound, he's still more of the old registrations than the new.
Yeah. What about Sanchez leaving Jackson Wink?
Amazing, right?
Could you see that as a fight in the future? Cowboy against Diego.
I think
there was some animosity when Cowboy left, wasn't there?
Which is almost like you feel bad for Diego because it's not hard for Diego to look crazy ever. But Cowboy had made that decision, and I don't think he was as viral or as vocal as he had to be if he felt the way he felt and if what was happening in the gym was truly happening.
Yeah. Because
he essentially sort of did that quiet thing and sort of went, I'm off, and then someone asked him and he was like, well, do you know what? Actually, fuck him. This has happened. Like, they're not looking after us. Was it a puppy mill?
That's what they said.
It's a puppy mill. And you see it here, there and everywhere where money rules and all the rest of it.
Vicious puppies.
Yeah, for real, vicious puppies. But it was how hard Diego reacted. For then...
He's a very emotional person.
Of course.
He's always like emotionally charged in everything he does, every decision he makes.
But it wasn't just a passing comment of like, well, fuck that guy. It was like, now I'm going to record a specific video targeting that guy to call him out and be a bit of a shitbird. And he fucking went hard. And then now he's gone, nah, fuck it. I don't like him either. And it's like, yo.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to see that fight though. I thought Diego looked pretty good in his last couple. Have you seen his new... Have you seen his new coach though?
I thought you were going to say nickname. I was going to say fuck me.
Oh, is he? No,
I can't change that again.
I can definitely see him changing his nickname again.
No, please.
We should get tweet in if you've got an idea of what Diego's going to change his nickname to now. He's got
one coach, right?
That's his new coach.
Okay. So what I'm seeing here.
We'll find a way of putting this up in the video because it's
like Michelangelo's David from behind in colour.
He looks like an interesting kind of dude. He's like a healer, a self-awareness expert. He's the founder of the School of Self-Awareness. He's a content creator, an online school founder, and he's also now a UFC coach. It
doesn't say influencer anywhere, does it?
It doesn't say influencer.
Okay, we can still get on then.
But he's influencing all of 251 people that are following him. It just seems like a very strange circumstance for Diego to leave one of the most established gyms in the world.
Yeah.
And hook up with a.
Well, it's like Rory McDonald finding Jesus, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You know when they go crazy and they're like, oh, not.
Do you remember when it happened to Rampage
but,
as well?
Oh.
There was a point. Rampage was just always a monster, and then there was a point where he showed up in Pride. I remember seeing him in his corner. And he had a big crucifix on his shorts.
I remember that.
You remember? And it immediately dawned on me. I'm like, oh no, what's happened to Rampage here? And he just didn't have any fire. Yeah. He just didn't seem to want to hurt anybody. And when he lost, he was like,
baby Jesus. Come on. Why'd you always picture him as a baby Jesus?
Little 6 pound, 4 ounce baby Jesus.
Mate.
Still tiny, but omnipotent. I love that movie. I need to
How many
watch
other people are not going to get
again.
Talladega Nights reference?
Brilliant.
It's bad though, isn't it, that you do?
What else on the card stood out?
Well, which card are we looking at?
Did you watch? Well, you got. I
threw you way off.
So
we're
on to Greenville now. We're off and running. So this is Molly McCann.
Yo,
Molly McCann.
Well,
right?
It was.
Shit,
Nick Pete put a picture on before I got to watch it, so I was a bit frustrated. Truth be told.
Oh really? Did you get a spoiler?
A massive spoiler because I saw the winner.
Well, what were you doing on socials without watching the fight?
Well, it was Saturday, and I'd got it into my head that it was going to be later because it was Greenville, and I can't remember what time it was. Kids must have been in bed because I was sat at the back door. So I was like, what? And then, but because it was the result I wanted, I was kind of okay with it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, because I spoke to Mr. Rygor himself.
Yeah.
And
they love the Rygor the Dragon hashtag, by the way.
It's a good hashtag.
Yeah.
We need to get a full papier-mâché version.
Yeah. Oh, we do
for the van.
They actually mentioned that when they first started with the Rygor brand, it had like a wyvern, like a dragon, as part of the logo. So I don't know.
Well, we'll do that.
It seemed perfect, didn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, Molly, amazing, right?
Yeah. I think this is a good opportunity to raise this point. I think there comes a time where people have to take responsibility for their own spoilers. like things getting spoiled.
Yeah.
Like, if you were on Instagram,
It's my own fault. I can take that. I completely take that because you know I will religiously stay off my phone normally. It was the problem was that it.
so you
was,
can't blame Nick.
No, I can't, and because it's his girl as well, it's even more so. So it was like, for me, because I wanted her to win. It was just, sometimes I get it when I'm watching a fight and I'm really invested in that fighter or whoever it is, and I get that nervous energy that I almost don't want to watch it. I just want to know. I just want someone to go, "Oh, I lost." I'd be like, "Okay, why?" It used to happen a lot with Stefan. Because I'd talked to Stefan before, and I talked to Bob and all the rest of it, and I'd have a good chat with him before he was going into it. And then sort of lose contact fight week.
Yeah.
And then I'd wake up Sunday morning and Stacey would either
Feeling
not make eye
anxious.
contact.
And someone's text you.
Yeah.
Wait till you see the hole that he's got in his face.
Oh man, that was it. It was the Mark Hunt one. Because I started watching that and he took Mark down. I was like, yo, you're looking good, my dude. This is fucking cool. Because of all the issues we had getting his fucking banner out there. And it was Japan
they
won
stopped
it.
his
Yeah,
banner.
Japan hid his banner because they preferred Mark Hunt. And I was literally sat there and I was watching him take him down. And then I looked over at Stacey. She was like, I was like, what's that face? And she's like, oh, yeah, he's doing all right now. I was like, no, you're not allowed to talk. So that was it. So
That's the worst.
yeah, it's a weird energy.
That's a spoiler that you're not responsible for.
I'm not responsible for
You're
that.
not. But
and people
but a
directly texting
spoiler-
me for me going
yeah.
into something that someone else has put out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in a Facebook hole or whatever. I just dropped in because I just got. The thing is, I've lost track of days, especially while I was away. Mad fucking never. I never really know what day it is anyway, unless it's Monday and we're recording, which it's not. It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I just sort of I lose track of everything. So by the time I'd sat there and looked at it, I couldn't even text him and be like, "Thanks."
Yeah.
Fuck face.
Good fight though.
It was a good fight.
She looked a lot better than she did in the last fight.
Every time.
Like head movement was better, striking was tighter.
Every
and,
time.
I mean, Lipsky, like everyone was really high on her coming into the UFC.
Yeah.
Like she was going to be a real talent, and I mean, 2 down now.
What's nice to see
kinda-
is I keep coming up on the card.
Yeah.
And it's like you can always see that natural progression of headlining prelims.
Yeah.
Because she's getting a big following. I mean, there's not a mass of lady fighters from the UK.
Well, that's the thing. See, I'm kind of feeling like there's an obvious trajectory that Molly and JoJo are going to meet each other.
Yeah.
You know,
Which would be kind of good.
It would be a great fight.
It would be.
But yeah, it'd be
emotional as
The
fuck.
one thing I did love as well with Molly when she landed that takedown, and like the whole crowd cheered, and she like saluted the crowd because she landed a takedown.
That's it.
Class.
That's what. Yeah.
And her post-fight interview was great as well. You know, she was talking about how Lipsky's got 2 losses now in a UFC record, on a UFC record, and how that must be challenging. And you know, I mean, she's just so easy to like.
Yeah.
Hi.
But-
You know, the one fight I haven't watched, which was supposed
Go
to be
on.
amazing, is the Eric Spicely one. I was chatting to Paul at Rigor yesterday, and he was telling me how good that fight was.
Did I watch Eric Spicely?
That was the first fight of the night. I haven't seen that
No,
one yet,
I
so I'm going to
didn't.
go back and watch it.
I didn't watch it because, to be fair, I've been trying to catch up with so much content. I've got all the Raptors gear. There
Dude,
was,
yeah.
I mean, Florida blew my mind because I wasn't there.
There's so much more to put out. We've got loads and loads. What did you say? 10 hours of stuff?
Yeah, but that was including podcasts and things like that.
Okay.
as well, yeah.
So you've had 90 minutes of it, and
Yeah.
yeah. So there's probably about 7 or 8 hours left.
Which
There's
is-
some awesome stuff. That Masvidal footage and
Amazing.
Oh, did you see that Arlovsky posted a photo on his Instagram? Was it yesterday, or the day before, of him at that track? Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
saw them two together.
The track's famous. Tropical Park in Miami. It was really nice, and it was like there was a mad thunderstorm driving down there. Mad thunderstorm.
Really?
Did you get a bit of
Tropical
that footage as well?
weather.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. Like everybody slowed down. We're doing like 10 miles an hour on the freeway because it was so heavy. It's just a river underneath us in the car. So I messaged Masvidal and I'm like, are you still training in this weather? And by that time, he must have already started. And we got there and it had cleared up, but it was like
Sticky.
like misty and proper like Florida evening and like lightning going. It was awesome. And he's like running around the track doing sprints and he's hitting pads. Then it starts to rain, so he's shadowboxing under the bleachers, and just the conversation we had was just absolute gold. I can't wait to. I mean, the trailer has got like 12,000 views. People are. Is it now really?
Really?
People are loving Masvidal at the moment.
Well, he's the boy.
He
It's
is,
hard not to
yeah.
love him. I mean, we spoke about Masvidal with Ross Edgley,
Yeah.
and I know he's relatively new to the sport, but he was at the time trying to understand why he got Till, and we were almost saying, look, he's essentially a Diaz brother,
Yeah.
to a massive amount.
Yeah.
And you said that,
Yeah.
but it's true because
bit more dedicated and more polished technically.
He's just an OG.
At least on the feet.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
He's just an OG. I mean, the fact that he fought Paulie 25 years ago is insane.
Yeah.
And survived against Paulie back in the day. Just touching on Orlovsky, when you said that then, shout out to Andrei Orlovsky. Proud of my wife moment. Mm-hmm. We watched Chernobyl the other day. I don't know if you've seen it. If you want to scare the fuck out of yourself, watch Chernobyl. It's amazing.
I've heard it's amazing, but
good.
I don't need to be scaring the fuck out of myself.
Well, it's one of them where...
Life's scary enough as it is.
Yeah, well, it's good. It's really good. And the way they film it is old school, and it's insane. Like, the fact that it's happened when we were born, not quite you, but when we were born, it happened.
Hatched.
Yeah.
Raptors hatch. They're not born. They're
You
laid
bred
and they
raptors?
hatch. You bred.
Like Warburton's bread. So we were sat watching that, and at one point it pans across and it goes from where they are at Chernobyl and it goes across to Minsk, Belarus. And Stace turned around to me.
It's a nice word to say, isn't it?
Minsk.
Minsk.
And she looked at me and she went, "You know where Orlovsky's from?" And I was like, "Oh, marry me again."
There we go.
But just
look at that.
Instant pride. I don't think I watched the rest of the episode. I was just like, and she was like, "Are you all right?" I was just tearing up. Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's all right.
Like proper cartoon where your pupils turn into love hearts.
This is it. Stacey used to watch it a lot because her favourite was Rich Franklin. And then when he got murdered by Anderson Silva, she just cried and hasn't really watched it since. It was one of them. I was like...
Was that the end of the dream?
It was because it was one of them where he came out and he'd been champ for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years and he's pink and brown.
Yeah.
Smashing everyone up.
Pink and brown.
Yeah, that's
Maths teacher.
Yeah. Pink and brown maths teacher with a George Gurgel puppet. And the American Pie logo on his
Did
t-shirt.
you notice how perfect George Gurgel's eyebrows were?
Everything about him was perfect.
They were like...
Apart from his stand-up.
Well, yeah.
He
But he was a fun fighter to watch,
fucking
wasn't
was, man.
I
He
mean,
fucking was.
He was face first.
Yeah, that's it. It's another Gagey, really.
That'd have been a good fight.
Yeah, that was.
Did he ever fight Roger Huerta?
Yes,
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, Roger Huerta had a lot of fucking amazing fights, to be fair.
Yeah.
First person from UFC to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Is that right?
Yep.
He was a good looking dude.
Well, he copied the Dust Till Dawn tattoo, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he did.
That's what he did. He watched Dust Till Dawn, got the tattoo, had a couple of street fights.
Did a few sit-ups.
Fucking loads of sit-ups, right? He was the first one to wear Vale Tudo shorts on it and be like, "Oh, this whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just my old lad. Chill out. Don't worry about it."
Just me old lad.
That's it. Just
This thing clinging to my thigh.
Yeah, well, that's it. What's he doing
I never
now?
watched fighting for that, Owen. I don't know what you're talking about.
But there is a video of him fighting on the street, and it doesn't look the same when he's in jeans. It's not
the
as
same
menacing.
Not the same as the Phil Baroni doing push-ups in his denim cut-offs then.
Dude.
In his Daisy Dukes.
Phil Baroni doing anything and anything is gold. I just need a fucking direct line to
I don't know why, but he always wants to fight me.
I love that.
He always wants to fight me.
I love that he's taking the time out to go, fight me?
Yeah, yeah. Not even a question mark. There was no question mark in the message.
Mate.
Anyway,
No,
that's another story for another day.
It is.
What about Rosenstruik, Jairzinho Rosenstruik, and all of the 9 seconds that it took him to blast Alan Crowder out? That was ridiculous. Did you see it?
No.
Dropped him with a jab. When you saw Crowder's eyes just spinning backwards in his eyes as he sat down and was like, "What the fuck was that?"
I don't like this.
He's like, "Is this a train track? Am I standing on a train track right now?" And then Jairzinho just stepped over him one more time, and you know when you see those shots where the guy's just sitting up and there's some strength in their neck, and they get that one hit, and you just see their whole body just.
It's like when yeah, not nice.
Yeah.
Who did I watch? I watched the Andrea Lee.
KGB.
How good does she sound with a southern drawl? As soon as she put a cowboy hat on, I was like, "Yo, I am listening to this post-fighting interview. Just say words to me.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. Just talk to me like a Texan."
It's so strange that her nickname's KGB and she wears a cowboy hat. It's like...
especially after I watched Chernobyl, and I was like, "Do you know what KGB is?"
Yeah.
Maybe you've used it for something
You know what
else.
was funny is Paul Daly, when he was on the Cage Warriors forum, so my nickname on the Cage Warriors forum was The Outlaw. Paul Daly's, you would think it was Semtex, was not. It was KGB.
Ah.
And nobody ever knew why it was KGB. And he used to get asked that question all the time. And it stood for Keeps Getting Better.
Oh, it's almost like his Faith of the Mustard Seed,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's like, I expect something way more gangster from Paulie.
I know.
Like, fuck your
Keeps
mother.
getting busted.
Do you know what I mean?
Better.
Yeah, keeps getting busted. Yeah.
Keeps getting
Keeps
I've got
getting
some
brained.
stories about Paul Daly
Mate.
that one day I will share at some point. A lot of it
that would be a
deleted
movie
out
in
of my
itself,
book.
wouldn't it? Yeah.
It would. It is. It could literally be a Guy Ritchie movie. He's hilarious.
Could you imagine Guy Ritchie doing a movie called Semtex?
Can you imagine?
Dude, I reckon who would play Dana White? Like Ian Freeman or something.
Ian Freeman, can you imagine?
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Can you imagine?
You just have to put some blocks under his shoes.
Yeah. So what about Chance and John? Let's
Wow.
talk about that, and then I want to talk about fights this weekend, or a bit of Bellator, a bit of Terry.
Okay. Well, what I forgot was his last fight was fucking insane with that reverse back elbow against Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah, he's just he's a highlight reel, isn't he?
Dude, when he came back, it looked like when he stopped Mark Hominick. Do you remember? Mm-hmm. Like Mark Hominick just gone 5 rounds with
seconds.
Jose. Yeah.
Twister against Leonard Garcia.
Yeah.
Darce choked Dustin Poirier.
Yeah. It just doesn't ever seem to stop. Obviously, that's why he's a fucking zombie. But bear in mind, Mark Hominick went 5 rounds with Jose, looked good, but had a massive hematoma on his head. Came back and he finished him in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then when he came out and did that again after his war with Yair, I was like, yo, fucking hell. And the thing was, I watched it half a dozen times, and it was just the fact that everything was measured absolutely bang on. And even when he was falling, he was like, just another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the one that he caught him with on the way down.
Yeah, wow.
And Moicano's good. We were watching him training ATT, and he's just... And everybody that spoke about him as well was talking about how good he is.
He's always been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a huge win for him. He just needs to put a couple together now, you know what I mean? He needs to get a bit of a win streak together and stay relevant, stay current.
Yeah.
You know, like I'd like to see him fight at least twice more this year. I mean, we can't see him fight once a year, can we? He had that big breakout when he went into the military as well. He did military service.
Yes,
he
yeah.
had 2 years.
Yeah.
So we lost him for a while.
I mean, the Leonard Garcia was the biggest thing for me because the first
both of
fight he had
those
was
fights.
batshit crazy, and then the second fight wasn't the twister at the end of like the second or something. It was like real close. It was only.
Was it the first twister in the UFC as well?
I think so, yeah. But it was like within a couple of seconds of the round being finished, and it was
4:59 of the second. Yeah, it was. How do you remember that?
It's just not easy, man. I've got no times table. I've got nothing else. Just fucking batshit
Just UFC
stupid
stats.
knowledge of bollocks.
Stato.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. But when he was doing that, and then obviously the 2 Leonard Garcia was fucking amazing, and I mean even against Jose, looked good.
Yeah.
I know. He fought Jose, right?
He lost in the 4th round.
Was it a
He
spinning
just got
back kick
worn
to the
down.
stomach?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think.
What's fun about this as well, and the UFC marketing have kind of helped us out with this, is that you can check to see how big of a UFC fan somebody is.
Okay.
And you can be like, oh yeah, but I'm a big fan of Chan Sung Jung. And they're like,
yeah.
who?
Because they even put Zombie at the
They
bottom,
do.
don't they?
They put Korean Zombie on the on the thingy.
Yeah. It's like
I'm going to demand, if I ever fought again, I'm going to demand that they just use my nickname.
KGB.
Yeah.
Well, it's
KGB. What would the B stand for if it was me? Baked.
Keeps getting baked. With Phil Baroni stood in the octagon, just dead pleased to be there.
Just doing push-ups in the sand in his denim shorts.
All right. It's like, what's he doing here? And why has he got Chris Lieben with him? I want to give him a chance. It's like Sexyama, isn't it? Was that his name, Yoshihiro Akiyama?
Yeah. I remember one of my favourite ever walkouts that I've experienced live was when Akiyama fought Chris Lieben.
Wow.
Because
that was the...
They were so different, the walkouts. Yeah. It was somewhere at, like maybe Mandalay Bay or something like that. It was in Vegas, I'm sure. And as Akiyama walked out, you know how he does to whatever music it is, I can't remember now. Holding hands, like tears in his eyes, the whole arena.
Like he's just got married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. More like a funeral, actually. And like the whole arena goes blue. And you're like, do I stand up? I'm supposed to take my hat off? Do I put my, you're not really sure exactly what you're supposed to do. Yeah. And then you kind of start to feel this emotion. He gets to the arena and you're like, oh my God, those about to die, we salute you.
Yeah.
And then Chris Lieben comes bouncing
Some mad
into Red Hot
with
Chili Peppers.
fucking red hair.
Yeah. It was like, was it Roller Coaster of Love or something like that?
I think it was.
It was brilliant. Anyway. But it was such a juxtaposition of walkouts.
Man.
I keep looking at that. I want to open that.
We want to open it. You're getting itchy fingers.
I am. It's been here for 3 days now.
I've had it for over a week, and I was like, maybe I'll just
been so
open it a
patient.
bit, and then I might put mad shit in there, like, I don't know, fucking
Eventually,
love eggs or something. Like,
Love
Loot
eggs.
Crate, thanks a lot.
eventually, Loot Crate are going to notice that we're doing this, and then we're going to have to. We're not going to have to pay for them anymore.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I don't mind because I am enjoying the process.
Yeah, we maybe need to tag them in it a bit more often. Like,
Yeah, we
you know,
told
we've
them,
done
yeah.
this 4 times now.
No.
We're not into that. If they come, they'll come.
So
what are you going to say? So what have we done? We've done
Greensville. We've done
Greensville. That was nice, right?
Is there
So
anything
that's
you want
most
to talk
recent.
about on the Bellator card aside from Terry?
Bellator. Let me have
Because
a
I was
look.
in transit for most of that card, so I've only seen bits. Oh, what about the bare knuckle boxing?
Oh man, the Artem and
Yeah,
Paulie. I don't know. It just didn't live up to anything. I thought it was going to be shit.
I don't know what people expected. I really don't.
I think what I loved about it, and I'm not saying it was shit, because obviously whenever these things happen, it takes balls for anyone to do any of this stuff. So it's always like a mad respect, but it's at the same time, you've got such a high expectation of something. It's like whenever there's, I don't know, use fucking, what's his name? Ngannou. Mm-hmm. When Ngannou fought Derek Lewis, and it's like, oh, everyone's going to be dead. And you're like, well, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Kimbo against... and
Everyone's going to be dead.
yeah, nothing happened. Do you know what I mean?
So exciting. We're all going to
Everyone's
die.
dying. Kimbo Slice against Houston Alexander.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be massive. Fuck all happens.
Yeah.
Really? Play the game. So, because of the Jason Knight thing, it was good. And seeing Artem and doing everything. I mean, the biggest issue that I took with anything was the fact that he got spat on.
Yeah, that's just...
I'm not into spitting. It's just...
There's no need.
It's proper dirt.
It is.
It's pure dirtbag. Like, fuck off, man. Like, hit me, but don't fucking spit at me.
Yeah.
Because that's just that's dog wank.
It is.
So don't do that. So when he did that, I was just like, as much as I don't care who wins, that just made me instantly think, Paulie, come on, man. You're desperate. That's like a kid lashing out. You fucking muppet. So when they did fight, I only saw a few of the highlights, and I was like, I've really not missed anything.
I think he maybe as the fight was approaching, he realised he kind of backed himself into a corner.
For real?
And that he now had to fight bare knuckle against someone that's just going to... His hands are too delicate. There was no way he was going to be able to stop Artem walking forward.
How
He can
quickly
hit him
did
with
he
a
break his
jab
hand?
all day. I don't know. They were probably broken going in.
Yeah,
like
I'm surprised.
he was always so delicate when he was boxing. He never hit particularly hard.
No.
It was just never going to work out well for him. It shows a lack of control that he got drawn into an argument that ended up in a fight, and he didn't even get the fight that he wanted. He wanted Conor. Like he didn't want to fight Artem. He wanted to fight Conor.
Yeah. But then now Conor can sit back quite easy, because
And
not
go,
like he
why would I
wants to
fight
fight him
you?
anyway and go,
Artem for you. Artem beat you. Why would I
Artem's
fight
fucking
you?
ice dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how close it was.
Yeah.
Who cares? But yeah, there seemed to be way too much chatter about it, and I sort of got distracted with a bit of it, and then I found myself watching it thinking, what the fuck am I watching?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was weird, because I've got so much to catch up on. It was one of them where it was quite easy to move away from. But I did like Anthony Rumble Johnson's input in everything. Just the size of him, just stood behind Artem. He was like, nope, nope, and he's fucking massive. Yeah. Well, you don't. Oh, lads, stop it. You remember when John Jones and DC met in the middle with what's his name? Who stood in the middle with them? Was it Alec?
Dave Scholler.
No, Dave Scholler.
Dave Scholler, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine being that dude and just seeing John Jones coming like this. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, your bum's doing 50p, 20p. Like fucking twitching like a bunny's nose.
You know what they could have done though with Anthony Johnson? They could have, instead of having them face off, we could have just had Anthony Johnson just lift them both into the picture.
Or hold
just
them
by
in
the
buckets.
scruff of their neck.
Yeah.
Just by the scruff of their neck, and just hold them nose to nose.
Like the dog on
and
Duck
then they
Hunt.
start to like claw at each other.
Hey.
You two.
Come on. What
Be
did
nice.
I say?
Be nice. Like you're introducing two puppies.
For the first time. Yeah. Like that dog on Duck Hunt on Nintendo. Can you remember when you'd shoot the ducks and you'd be like, I've got him. Have you?
Mark did that for you with me and
Yeah, that photo is great. Although your eyes, I don't know what's going on with your eyes. Like you've not been awake, not been asleep for like 3 days.
Maybe he's been busy.
Maybe he's been busy. You know, one thing I am interested to see is how the content pans out from the IMAF stuff, and and what people noticed that he was focusing more on, and how his crushes were playing into the content.
I like it.
He's giggling now. He knows exactly what I'm talking about, and I knew this was going to happen.
Did it start out with
as soon as you sent me that photo of like that selfie? I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's no longer IMAF.
We've lost him.
It's no longer about IMAF.
Look at all these fights.
It's about one particular
and
fighter.
boobs.
Frank, books you win gold.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah, thank books you won gold. Yeah, because
Yeah.
now you look like some kind of mystic. Yeah,
There you go.
Mystic mystery nonsense. Following his
Who are
instincts.
you following around? No one.
I think I'm an MMA expert today, and I think she might be the one that's going to win. So I'll focus all of my attention on her.
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it. Where's?
He knows it.
Yeah,
He's
for
in
real.
stitches now.
Yeah.
This is why we've not got the Raptor cam on, is
That's
it?
exactly it.
So
yeah.
you can hide from it.
Guilt
today.
cam.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Guilt
cam.
cam.
Do you know her? Lie detector says that's a lie.
Yeah. Well,
She was really good though. That was what initially drew me.
of course. Yeah.
We would never doubt.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk. Well, next time when we settle with the Raptor mic, we'll talk about IMAF, because it was a solid week, and the content. Go and have a look on the YouTube channel. Aside from the podcast, there's a bunch of other stuff. There's some IMAF videos. We've got loads of stuff from Miami and ATT coming up. Loads of, the Masvidal thing will be up soon. We've got some great content with a bunch of people. So.
Was your interest in this gold medalist on the same level of the Fight Disciples with Shevchenko and Yonin and Jacek? Is it sock talk?
Sock talk.
Sock talk with mystery.
Yeah. Anyway, where were we?
Talking about socks. What do you reckon to the new ones? What do you think to them?
Those full Reptile socks are wicked.
The one thing, just while you're on that, on the clothing, can we let people know there is clothing?
There is clothing. Yeah, this was brought to our attention by some of the rest of the collective, and they were like, you know, people have been asking on the podcast.
You should do merch.
Yeah, we do merch. We have merch. fullreptilecollective.co.uk.
Yeah, it's out there, man.
It is out there.
There's plenty.
Anyway, we've got a second 100 coming up as well. We'll
We have.
start planning that, and the first 100 for the Raptors.
So
start saving your pennies, because you're going to want both of these boxes.
do we need to give a bit of history about the first 100 and the second 100?
We could do. Well, the first 100 was the kind of the launch of the company. We did 100 boxes, and we basically, once they were gone, and they had a bunch of stuff in them.
That's right.
And that was the start. And what's funny is, like, look, if you look back now, it was a good box, but in comparison to what we're doing now,
It's insane.
so
yeah,
you know, we're leveling up. That's why we like the loot crate, because we like to see what they put together for us.
This is it. So I mean, what did we get in the first one? The first 100, you got stickers, a signed book, a bag of coffee, our first house blend, a T-shirt which was limited to, it was a gold and black Visionary, limited to just 100, and pin badge, bookmark, and that was it. But it was all nicely wrapped up in tissue paper at the chapel and all stamped up.
Yeah, God, that was a long week.
Yes,
getting all those together.
Yeah,
but then this one's we've got socks in the next one, haven't we?
Yeah, so we've branched out. We've got a few, because it spun me out a bit when I got back. I got a lot of things to edit and shoot for the new drop that we launched on Friday, and I know that we've got an accessories tab on the website, but we never had a key ring in there. And I was like, you fucking let down. Like, who the fuck has accessories but no key ring? This fucking idiot. So I was like, all right, so we've got that sorted, and we've got a wicked keyring now, which is also good as a throwing star, I found.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's sharp as fuck.
It is sharp, yeah.
Yeah, so...
I like it, though. It's... I tell you what it's really useful for is opening the battery compartment on cameras.
Yes, that's what I did it for.
Which that's exactly why it was designed.
It's a creative design.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So we've got a second 100 box coming out for Full Reptile Collective, which will have different stuff in it: key rings, T-shirts, a couple of T-shirts this time.
Yeah, we're going to do a couple this time, socks, and we're all limited. So, as you know, the majority of things that we do are limited to a certain number, so it's not just saturated with anything.
Yeah.
And obviously, you can only get them from us. So if you do manage to get one of the 100, you'll know that won't be released again in that sort of in that colorway or whatever it is. And then obviously the Raptors, we've getting quite a lot of feedback from our Raptors stuff when I wear it.
People, yeah. I've been wearing Raptor stuff quite a bit. So we're gonna have stuff. We're gonna have a shirt and a sweatshirt that you can always get on the site. But then we're gonna do a first 100 with like pin badges and stickers.
And a cool lighter.
The cool lighter.
I have got a lighter in my pocket, but I'm not going to show anyone.
No, bottle opener lighter, pin badge, socks.
Cool.
Yeah, we haven't shown you the socks yet, but I think you're going to dig them. Anyway,
you will dig them big time. So that's coming up.
That's coming.
What were you telling me before I completely distracted you with something?
We were just going to briefly discuss Bellator because Terry Brazier was incredibly impressive.
Okay, let's go there.
He was his opponent Alejandro Botti, I think his name was. I don't remember. It was a late notice replacement because we'd prepared
another late notice replacement. Like, how many people did he have on there?
I think 4. I think he was the 4th opponent, 4th or maybe even 5th. So there were loads of changes in opponent. And so it kind of, I mean, the thing is with Terry, he's one of those kind of fighters like I was talking about earlier, that he's got a style, and he brings that to every fight. It's the same style every fight. He adds things to it, he tweaks things about it, but fundamentally he's going to march you down and beat the hell out of you. That's his game. He's the dominator. That's why his nickname is such. And so when you've got a different opponent changes, I think that style of fighting is far more valuable because it matters a lot less what you're dealing with.
Yeah, it's like specialist.
Yeah, exactly. Like me as a counter striker, I need to watch my opponent to see what movement patterns I can identify and see where I can exploit those movement patterns.
Okay.
And then see what they bite on, see what they're more conscious of. Like, do they reach for a jab? Do they cover? Do they shell up and leave me a channel in the center? Those kind of things. Whereas if you Terry, like, those things are kind of secondary.
Yeah.
The most important thing is that you enforce your game on them. So the changes of opponents didn't matter too much. No. And like by the time fight came around, it didn't even matter who he was fighting. It's just like, okay, do these things. If you do these things, you'll be the best version of yourself right now. And he did that. I mean, he met a bit of adversity, but
to pull out the submission that he did, and that he's still going for something that late into the third.
Yeah. Sweep with a Kimura.
Into
crucifix and then Americana finish.
See, it's almost that DJ mentality. When DJ was champion, defended his belt 1,000 times, and then was it Ray Borg? Mm-hmm. When it was in the 4th, he clearly smashed the fuck through him, and he then was still going for an acrobatic backflip armbar into helicopter monkey spin, and it was like, fucking hell, why wouldn't you do that? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And he had no reason to do that.
That's Terry though,
and that's what I admire.
I put a post up the day after of me and Eric and Eddie Cohn in his corner, and just kind of basically, I wanted to keep it short because I wanted a lot of people to read it, and I know that there are a lot of young fighters that follow me, and they they look at my posts, and I know they're busy, so I don't want to put, like, John Danaher puts these amazing posts up, but it will take me 15 minutes to read it. Yeah. And I wanted something that was a bit bite-sized that would stick in someone's brain, so next time they walk into the gym, they can remember. Yes. They can remind themselves. And it was just like, watch Terry Brazier and just try and work as hard as he does.
Which is not.
Just try and do it. I mean, it's horrendous, the pace that he works at, all the way through training camp.
But that was even on the podcast when you were talking, because it's not like he was saying, I'm fucking hard as fuck. And I've been doing this and I've been fighting forever. Like, when I talk to you and I understand, like, you went into fighting at the same time that I went into motorbike trials. Mm-hmm. So my entire energy was focused into learning how to be the best at trialing. So I loved it, and then I can get on any bike now. I can stand it on its nose. I can do whatever, and that was because that was my life. Whereas yours is fighting, and it always has been, and that's how you've moved forward. Whereas when you see someone like Dean come along, that obviously one of the collected, Dean Hammersinger, he didn't start as early as you did. Mm-hmm. So there's a bit of catching up in that you look back and you think, fucking hell, to do what you've done is impressive. But when you see someone like Terry that never did it, was in the army, served in a completely different way, then came back out and was like, do you know what? I'm suffering with this. I'm going to try that. And you're like, that's fucking brave as fuck. That's batshit crazy. So to see him achieve what he has done, especially after the last one, when it was sort of it was over before it begun, and almost that shake your head cartoon style, like, what? And it wasn't the real Terry. So to see him go, no, do you know what? I'm going to fucking do this. And to watch him and Adam on the story, because obviously you see it almost as a bit of a family. And obviously we saw Terry and Adam at Dean's mum's when we did a coffee roasting ceremony. So you sit down, you're talking to him, you're fighting his kids. And it's nice because you get to know a person on a different level. And so then when you see him out in Thailand and you see what he's doing, it's the dedication is phenomenal. But to do that and just make that decision and go, I'm going to fight now, it's like, it's fucking scary. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, it's really been a benefit to him, and I mean, as people could hear on the podcast, like it's allowed him to bridge that gap and find a way of dealing with the things he was struggling with and manifest that in a positive way. And I think, I mean, there are life lessons to be learned from that.
like outside of MMA entirely. I think he's a real interesting character, and I think that I just think he's a good representation of what hard work can do for you.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
I love the way that he fights. I especially like the fact that he doesn't have the same kind of like we were talking about with Adam Amasinga. Like and I said this to them, they're kind of opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yes.
Like,
and it's the age thing as well.
And the thing is, what people won't know and what people will find out at some point is Adam does have that grind as well, which is why he's such a unique fighter.
Yeah.
Because Terry's got the grind, but he doesn't have that that technical finesse that Adam's got, that ability to move so smoothly. It makes it work for him, and there's something to be said for awkward timing. I mean, you look at Keith Jardine, for example. Dude. Like really kind of awkward timing.
Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, and Thiago Santos.
Yeah.
I was doing that breakdown's coming out soon. And the more fights I watched with him, the more I realised how awkward his timing is. Like punching across himself just because there's an opportunity to hit his opponent. It's really unusual. There's something to be said for it. But like if I look at Terry in comparison to Adam, who I can't wait to see perform this weekend, just the smooth agility that he's got, the ability to shift gears and shift speeds and to hit people and be gone. Like,
which to put it all together,
that gives him options that Terry doesn't have. You know,
it's putting that all together. Like when you look at someone back in there like Matt Hughes, who was predominantly a wrestler, and then had to learn how to defend X, Y, and Z. When you see someone like Adam, who's obviously been around it his entire life, but then if your footwork isn't in time with your head movement, which I know sounds stupid, but when you see someone actually put it together, and you see someone that's just having a go, it's a world apart.
Yeah.
So to see that, I mean, I can't wait to see Adam fight again. I think it's always exciting when you know someone, but it feels weird as well to watch him because I get that weird sick feeling whenever I watch. A little
bit anxious.
Yeah, for real.
I'll be in his corner this weekend before I start working the main card, and it's like I'll be doing some research for the fights on the main card, but my brain will be on that. And we've got James Hendon fighting as well this weekend, the Honey Badger, who again is just
animal.
He's going to be a real.
Well, his last fight, he looked. If you haven't seen it, it's on Fight Pass. Go and watch it, the Honey Badger, because he honestly blew me away. And the thing is, the size of him. When we were at Body Power and he came in, he was like, "All right, mate." I was like, "Fucking hell, you're my size."
Yeah,
that's worrying.
Yeah,
what have I done with my life?
Yeah,
nice. Do you want me to draw you a logo?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What the fuck? So yeah, it was interesting. I mean, did you see the just going on to a social element of the beef between Aaron Chalmers and Paddy Pimblett?
No, is there beef?
There was, because the thing was, I look at it as an outsider because I haven't watched Geordie Shore for years, but I watched the first couple of seasons, and it was all stemmed from Jersey Shore, and it was interesting just to see how a social thing will go, because it's like you go from nothing to be chucked in a house, and it's big brothery but a bit self and a bit weird. So you're watching this and then you realise after a while this is the same shit every week. Sack it off. And Aaron Chalmers came out and he obviously went out there and he trained and he had a go, and he got shown up in his last fight, I think, but then he's come back and done it. And the article that I read initially was Aaron Chalmers has paid someone's bet that basically he said he was going to knock him out and he didn't. He subbed him. So like he had an accumulator that was fucking spot on, but that was the one that was off. So he messaged him direct, said, "Dude, send me a paper, I'll send you the money you've lost." Which I was like, fuck, man. That's pretty stand up. That's interesting that you've done that. And obviously it's all for promotion and what's it, because I have seen things where there's pictures of him with stacks of money, which I think is pretty ugly at the same time. It's almost back to that Connor photo shoot where he's at the fucking vault, and it's like, really? It changed after that. Things changed, and that's sort of where we didn't want to go. So when I saw that, I was like, fucking hell, that's crazy. And then I was on Twitter, and someone said, if you want a bit of MMA beef, Aaron Chalmers and Paddy are going at it. And I was like, oh, fuck. And basically, I think someone had said something, and he essentially had said to Paddy, get a couple of wins under your belt, and then we'll talk. And it was almost one of them where it's like, oh, do you know what you've just said? And do you know you've just said it to? Because even if you don't believe it or it's part of the story, there was still a better angle of doing that. If you wanted to cause beef, it was like, it just seemed a little bit uneducated. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Is that a fight that's ever going to happen though? I mean, Chalmers is 170, isn't he?
I'm not sure.
They're different weight classes, aren't they? Well, Paddy's massive right now.
He's 170.
That'd be good. That'd be good to see that.
Yeah,
I'm all for domestic fights like that. I'm all for people falling out and fighting. It makes it more entertaining.
Yeah, I do love a bit of beef. Was it? Is that what? Because
was it?
The problem is when the Twitter feed is that long, I try and grab bits, but my interest is there's no pictures or gifs. I'm fucking out. Do you know what I mean? If there's not like, I don't know, fucking Jonah Hill doing this every once in a while. Yeah,
I see that pop up.
Oh fucking!
Let's talk about the fights this weekend.
Go on. What we got for?
Yeah.
Let's do
so, Ngannou Santos. Let's start there.
Wow.
How are you feeling about? Rocco Martin against Damian Myers on this card. Yeah. We've got some good stuff with Rocco Martin. He is massive. To think he used to fight at lightweight's ridiculous.
Really?
He's huge. I'm glad he's got an opportunity to fight someone like Damian Maia, and I think Maia's a great litmus test to see where your skills are at.
Yeah.
Because if you can't, can you deal with a specialist in any range?
Yeah.
If you can deal with a specialist, or at least have enough in the other ranges to shut him down and beat him that way, then yes, you're ready to take that step up.
Yeah.
I think Damian Maia is a good test for him, and I think Rocco's going to surprise a lot of people. I mean, I don't think Maia's in the best years of his career, but I think Rocco Martin certainly will.
He's a challenge.
And he'll stand to get a lot of credit for it, because a lot of people know Damian Maia.
Yeah, because at the minute he's on Coco Main, isn't he? So I mean, that's a good spot to have, and it's easy for Dana to say if you win, you've justified your spot. Yeah. If you lose, you back down.
It's a good sign to see flyweights in the co-main event spot.
Yeah, for real, man. We've got Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Formiga looked good as well. We were watching him hitting pads the other week. He's just one of those guys. You're just like, where is the weakness in his game?
Yeah. I don't think Benavidez has ever been the same after DJ knocked him out. Because that was big. Because they went 5, and it was close either way. I know DJ won, but it was pretty fucking close. And didn't he fight Uncle Creepy as well?
Yeah.
And it's always close, and he's just that grinder. I think the worst thing is for Benavidez is just what he's been naturally gifted with aren't really that long. His arms aren't that long. His legs aren't. He's under tall and undersized for his talent and his desire. Yeah, if that makes sense.
I know what you mean. And he's got the thing is as well is because of his style of fighting, he's got a very unorthodox movement patterns. Very rare does he put his hands up. Occasionally he'll step into range and put his hands up, but most of the time he has them down by his waist.
Yeah.
And he switches and he lunges and he reaches.
Yeah.
And someone that's fast and able to read those movement patterns, because there are some consistencies in his movement patterns, as random as it looks sometimes. It's the same with Dominic Cruz.
Yeah.
Like, for as random as his movement patterns look,
it looks fancy.
He's used the same things over and over again. You just got to recognise the patterns. It's a high level pattern, which is why it's difficult to spot.
That's why like someone like Cody and TJ could look at that and go, you're doing the 6, 7, 8 step shit, boy.
Yeah.
So I got that wrapped up.
Yeah.
You got the shimmy shake.
So that's my concern with this one, with Benavidez going in against Formiga, is that although Formiga's got a more predictable style in himself and the way that he fights, because he is so good, and Benavidez is so wide open, there are opportunities where Formiga's going to be able to kind of walk his way into range and start hitting him as he moves.
I'd love to see, because obviously Benavidez has got a win over Henry Cejudo, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
From the Ultimate Fighter. And I know it was close, but I also think, just switching completely a bit, I think Faber's got a good chance against Henry Cejudo. I'd put money on Faber against Cejudo. I mean, watching him the other day, I was devastated when I thought that Moraes was going to smash the fuck out of him. And it's more his personality that's frustrating me.
Yeah.
Because it's just such an awkward... I don't know. It's like he's got the budget version of how to create an alter ego from, like, when you go to a supermarket and they've got, like, it's not called RoboCop. It's not a real figure. It's like
Cop Robot.
Robot Police. It looks similar, but it's like a post office toy. Do you know what I mean? It's like a really shit version. And it's like someone's giving him that book and he's reading it. And he's like, all right, so I'm going to dress up as a magician because that's one of my opponents. I'm going to have a Mickey Mouse. He's fucking Mighty Mouse. That is a brand. You could find that teddy.
Yeah.
I'm going to get this snake. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? And there was... The commitment to it was almost farcical because he was getting revved up about it. Whereas I honestly thought Moraes is going to come out of the ashes as this fucking tiny little guy who struggled all his life, smashed him with leg kicks, and I was like, fuck, he is fucked. And I mean, hats off to Cejudo to turn it around and go, when someone in the corner is like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, he is good. That's the thing. I mean, he is very, very good. It's just the cringe element so bad, and you can't own cringe either.
No, it just sucks
like
dick,
if you're cringy and you're like, yeah, I'm cringy, that's the idea. You're like, that makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Because you know you're cringy.
Exactly.
Stop being cringy.
You can't be. Yeah,
Stop it.
You can't be cringy and own it and be like, no. Even Ricky Gervais when he's talking about like fucking David Brent. There's times when you watch that and you're almost crawling.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
Like, what the fuck? But
I was uncomfortable watching Dana at that face-off.
Well, yeah,
because like Dana's got his
fire,
potential double champ there.
Yeah.
We've got one serious contender that's all fired up, and then this dude walks on stage in a costume.
Been to Toys R Us,
and you can tell Dana's like,
what the fuck? Yeah, it's almost when you look at WCW back in the day when it was wrestling, or
man.
WWF.
Yeah.
No one watched WCW. No. Wank. Like, you didn't watch that dog shit. You watched the proper shit.
Yeah.
And when Dana, like you say, when he looked at him, it was almost in this like, you remind me of Tyron Woodley. Do you know what I mean? Just this like gut hate of it.
No, Tyron Woodley's not cringe like that.
He's not cringe like that. I just think he frustrates him.
I can't think of another fighter that is that level of cringe.
I don't know. Not someone that can back it up the way that he does, unfortunately. Because the problem is that when
Chemo was kind of cringe at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony Ferguson. But that's the thing. You see, it's excusable with Tony Ferguson to be a bit cringe sometimes because he doesn't know he's being cringe.
And I don't think Tony Ferguson. Yeah,
That's the difference between the two. You know,
he's the only person that buys Oakleys.
Colby Covington is a good example. Like he's cringe, but he's intentionally cringe, and that makes it.
And no one cares. No. Like no one watches him and goes, "I can't wait to watch this dude."
He's got Lawler next, hasn't he?
Is he fucking back? Yeah, but
I think that's a horrible fight for him.
Yeah, if Lawler did what he did to Askren.
Yeah, it'd have been better stepping up and facing another one of the contenders.
Well, Robbie's in that place in his life now
where he's got mad veins popping out the fronts of his shoulders.
So, but he's relaxed about that. Do you know what I mean?
Not in the Askren fight, he wasn't. He was going to blow a fuse.
But he looks like he's at peace. Like, you know when Herb stopped it and he went, fuck. It's all right. Because he's got money and he's good. And I think he's had the belt. He had his tattoo finished so that he could actually have a belt put on the tattoo. Thanks a lot, fellas. He defended it. He was reigning and defending and he was looking good. But the problem is, it's like now, what are you doing it for? It's like, I just want to have another go. So I think there's a bit of the pressure taken off his shoulders. And with someone like Colby, it's hard to get under Robbie Lawler's skin. I don't know if because he doesn't know people are doing it, but he's hard to rattle because he just doesn't give a fuck.
He's angry anyway.
Yeah.
What are you going to say to make him more angry? He's still angry at fishing.
Yeah. Imagine. You're right there. Yeah, fucking fuming. So, I don't know. Like you say, Colby, it's so easy to do. It's so easy to have an alter ego or a character, I feel. And I think the minute that you double it and turn it up to 11, if you're not aware of how it's coming across.
Although the thing is, I'm sitting here saying this, and there's probably people listening that are even fans of the podcast that are going, you were a bit fucking cringe. You had red hair for a start. That was a bit cringe.
I don't know if red hair was cringe.
It didn't feel cringe to me. I was loving it.
Yeah, well, this is it.
Maybe Cejudo thinks he's not being cringe.
Yeah, but that's you wearing that business hat. That's you wearing that fighter hat. It's almost like you're putting on your fucking war paint. Whereas Cejudo had a top hat on, a Mickey Mouse, not Mighty Mouse.
Did he have a top? I thought he had a crown on.
A crown on, sorry, and holding a top hat. My bad. I'm a top hat for fucking saying that. He had a Burger King crown on, and it was just, I don't know. I don't know. There must have been someone in his corner that would have gone, oh, you're doing it? Oh, fuck. I thought you said like some twat was told you should do that and it was a bad idea, but you've got all the bits. Oh, you've bought them yourself. Oh, fucking hell, I'm not paying expenses for that. It just sent bonkers, and I was just gutted when Moraes didn't do it because I wanted to see the fucking Mr. Pop have a go. And especially when he was in his corner and you've got, was it...
Longo and Sarah. Oh, no, it's Mark Henry.
Mark Henry. When Mark Henry was trying to talk him up and like, what's your mum going to do?
That was it.
I was like, fuck, man, don't go for the mum card. It's only round 3.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it didn't work, so... Yeah,
it's good to see the flyweights at the top of the card, though.
Yes, going back to Benavidez.
Co-main. Because it's like... I mean, that reinforces the fact that the flyweight division is not really going anywhere.
You say that, but the card has been sort of cobbled together because the week after is mad important being International Fight Week.
I would have even put Damian Maia against Rocco above that.
Yeah, but I mean, they stole Francis Ngannou and JDS off us, didn't they? We were like, that was meant to be on International Fight Week.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, okay. So that's what makes me
off
think.
Us. Stole it off us.
Well, yeah, they stole it. We're going. So
we are going.
I'm going to be there. And now,
Viva Las Vegas.
I'm not going to see these boys.
There we go.
I want to see how much I measure up to Ngannou.
There we go. You don't.
It's going to be like the Peter Pan shadow. You know, the Peter Pan shadow when he's pulling it off his foot. Fuck off.
I remember my dad shaking his hand backstage in London, and like my dad's arm was just consumed by his hand. It's just
shaking like King Kong.
He's huge, yeah.
I know that. I made you.
He's massive. He's scary. I can't imagine him throwing punches in my direction. It'd be terrifying.
Yeah, for real.
And the thing is with this fight as well, Dos Santos has got to be on his bike. He's got to be on his bike. He's got to be moving,
dude.
Because I don't think he's got the firepower to stand in the pocket and trade with Ngannou and take that risk.
Well, after Overeem,
technical.
After Overeem made him a bit uncomfortable, wasn't he backing up and he caught him?
Yeah,
I can see Overeem
forced him to chase him.
Exactly, but then it was when he was backing up, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and Overeem just went clink.
But that's the thing. See, Ngannou, Dos Santos doesn't do very well moving forward, and that whole first round. Overeem's circling. He's moving in circles, like to the point where the fans are like, "When are you going to start the fight?
Yeah, stop punching!"
Like to get frustrated, and that's where Overeem's experience comes in. He knows what he's doing. He knows he's playing the game.
Yeah.
So that impatience that the fans feel is the same that Dos Santos feels. So he then starts to push him forward and reach in more and making mistakes.
Yeah.
The difference here is that I don't think he's going to have to. He's not going to be chasing after Ngannou.
No.
Ngannou's either going to stand still or move forward.
Yeah, I mean. But the thing is, he's just dangerous wherever, isn't he? I mean, when you look at the last when JDS fought Tai Tuivasa, faced a little bit of adversity because he punches hard, but I don't think there was ever any massive danger at any point when you look at the skill level of JDS and Tai. But the difference is now, Ngannou's a fucking savage. He's found his mojo again, and it's not like I think he will see him as an over the hill veteran.
For sure.
Like, just another name. Clink, see you later, dickhead.
Yeah.
Because it's not like Ngannou's getting sparked. Like, don't get me wrong, JDS...
That's it. No, he's not easy to stop.
No, because, I mean, JDS did Cain Velasquez, and it was sort of behind the ear and a bit surprising and all the rest of it in the first fight for Fox, was it? But it's not like he's been just... It's not like he's got that same fear.
No, he doesn't clean people's clock with one punch like Ngannou does. That's where the firepower thing comes in. It's like there's a process of wearing people down first. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays it exactly the same as he did against Roswell.
Yeah,
like, you remember the Roswell? What was that? It was Croatia, wasn't it? Yeah,
a while ago.
Like, what was that? Yeah, 2016. It wouldn't surprise me if the fight looks almost exactly the same as that.
Yeah.
Where he's moving, he's backing, he's jabbing, he's moving, he's waiting for Ngannou to start walking in that direction, then he'll hit him and he'll move again. And if in that process, especially with it being 5 rounds, which suits him far more than Ngannou, in that process, if there's a moment where he can step in and start landing some bigger shots...
Well, his boxing's
then
good.
He will. Yeah.
His boxing's good. But, I don't know, I like Junior Dos Santos. Do you follow him on social?
Yes, I do, yeah.
He's such a nice dude.
Oh, he's a nice guy.
Like,
he was at ATT. It felt like we saw everybody at ATT. Like, everybody was there. He was in wicked shape as well.
That's it. And that's what everyone was saying about the last fight. Can you remember, weren't you there for Derek Lewis?
I believe I was, yeah.
Because...
Oh, no, Wichita, Kansas? No.
Kansas.
No, I wasn't there for that.
I can remember everyone was someone spoke to you and said, yo, JDS is in mad shape. Mm-hmm. And no, it was Australia. It was when you did the Tai Tuivasa fight, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh yeah, he's in mad shape. And the thing is, I know I've probably mentioned this a million times, but I know during the Cain Velasquez Junior Dos Santos trilogy, he was having a divorce and going through loads of stuff. So I think there might have been a couple of years stolen from his career from stress that he never really recovered from, because there was a lot of time when I still considered JDS or Cain Velasquez as the champ, because it was that weird time when Fabricio Verdum came back and sort of stole a belt with Hunt, and it was a weird...
Yeah.
It wasn't like a solid... It's like when Frank Mir had his accident and there wasn't really a heavyweight champ. As much as Orlovsky fought Tim Silver and all the rest of it, they'd never...
And when he came back, it wasn't Frank Mir either, was it?
No, exactly. But like you'd never beat him. So like that's sort of not your belt. Do you know what I mean? Like the Johnny Hendricks with GSP and
it's kind of the same with DC really. Not
For real?
not winning the light heavyweight belt from John Jones.
Exactly.
It does devalue the champion, I think.
I think so. You've not got that, because especially with John Jones taking over your shoulder at the same time as well.
Yeah.
You didn't beat me.
Yeah.
You never beat me. Remember
he
that time
went
you
in
never
on
beat
him
me?
this week, didn't he? He was talking a load of shit about DC and being too scared to come back down to light heavyweight and those that's John Jones just maintaining the beef so we can step up to heavyweight soon.
Well, this is it. Well, after you spoke to him and he was like, no, it's too dangerous up there.
Yeah.
And it was a real candid. I
just think he's clever. I think he's playing games. I think he's messing with DC's brain.
Well, he needs to fuck with them emotionally because it's
the biggest fight.
So much energy.
For sure. It's still the biggest fight for John Jones out there. And unless Brock Lesnar comes back, there's no other fight for John Jones that's bigger than a DC fight, especially at heavyweight.
Well, it's almost that bully mentality. You know, I'm sure you haven't had this as much as I did, but I can remember being at school and you've done something and someone's like, you're going to fucking get it. And I'm like, oh, shit. And, you know, every time you think about that person for the next, I don't know, whatever English lesson or whatever you're in before you go and get your head kicked in, you're like, you get that little buzz.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, it zaps your energy until you if the fight's going to happen, you'd rather it happen now. But if someone says, I'm going to kick your teeth in 2 hours, you're like, oh, fuck off. Do it now.
I had that one time at school. And I used to get that at taekwondo competitions as well.
Just that buzz.
Because you just sit and waiting for them to call your name. And you could be there all day.
Yeah.
And just sitting in that mood.
It's just zapping.
Yeah.
And I think...
I used to jump... I'd just jump on people in school like that.
That's it.
Just Tasmanian devil.
Well, I'd take someone down. Everyone's the same fucking size lying down. You know what I mean? So I'd just double leg them and then try and fight them from the floor. But there's normally half a dozen. Yeah, enough, Oxley. Why are your feet hurting? Fucking twat. Who says that? But
probably because you robbed something off them.
Yeah, to be fair, I was either robbed it and trying to sell it back to him.
Yeah.
Selling it back to him. I was like, yo, do you want to buy this? It's like, that's mine. It's like, ooh.
It's got my name on it, Oxley.
It was. So, yeah, I don't know. I think if John Jones has got that mentality with DC, because I'm not saying that DC's scared of anyone.
Yeah.
But it's
a
like,
risk.
It's putting that thought back. It's making yourself relevant in someone else's brain that doesn't want to have to think about it. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, when you think about something negative and then it's weighing on your mind and it's not your priority, but then you're almost down a bit that day because then you think, what was I thinking of? Like, I saw taking the kids to school and there was a baby bird on the side of the road and a car or something had hit it and it was really struggling. So I was like, fuck. So I wasn't far away from school. So I was like, it's safe-ish where it was. It was like in a lay-by. So I shot to school, took the kids. But because the girls were fucking saying something, it was taking my brain away. And they were saying positive stuff, excited about going to school. But I had this like real dull feeling of something that was negative that I couldn't put my finger on. And it was the bird that I couldn't remember what I was thinking. You know when someone says, what were we just talking about? And it was that. And it wasn't until I could get them out of the car, take them to school, and then sort of just shake my brain out. And I came back and this lady had found this bird and like was already nursing it because I was like, I'll go and get it, take it home and make sure that it's okay. And she'd already sort of started dealing with it. And I was like, oh, fucking hell. And I had this really weird feeling, not elation, but it was more like, oh, that's ticked off now. I sort of don't have to worry about that anymore. So if someone then said, oh, there's another bird, I'd be like, ugh. Whereas with John Jones in DC, it's almost that when you open your phone, it's like, oh, Twitter. Oh, and just not got the energy for that. He's not in fight camp at the minute. The whole Brock thing's fucked off. He's having a fight soon with a Savage.
Yeah.
And he's just having fun with it.
And that's the thing as well, is if he loses to Stipe, that derails it entirely because then that's got to set up a rubber match with Stipe, which means that DC will then fight twice more and neither of them will be John Jones. And then will he want to fight again?
Yeah.
Will John Jones... Because I think the only way that it happens is if DC beats Stipe and he fights one more time and that's Jones. I think it's the only way that it happens. And I think that gives Jones time to fight Santos. And I'm assuming he's going to... like, if we're assuming he's winning for the sake of this argument, which I'm not going to do, I don't want to discredit Santos in any way, but like if we go with the most likely path, he beats Santos, he faces someone like Rakic next, and then he has a rematch with Anthony Smith.
I think a Johnny Walker or a Rakic is way too dangerous. I think Dana would see Dana's very vocal about not stopping people retiring, except DC, and he's been real vocal with like, yo, you fucking got this, dude. Yeah. And I think...
He wouldn't encourage him to go back down to light heavyweight.
No, but I think he would throw quite a big number at heavyweight to sort of the problem is we see it a lot with someone like Rashad or whoever sitting out waiting, or like for stars to align. And the problem is the amount of times that we can see a super fight on the horizon, GSP and Anderson Silva. What the fuck? That never happened. This never happened. And it's one of them where you like to build a story and you like to get that excitement and energy building up. I mean, we've never seen anything like the energy and excitement that came from Jose and Conor. You know, that was months of media.
Yeah.
And to have that just in your veins for fucking so long that you are building up to this a massive thing. The problem is there's always that danger of John Jones popping.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Or DC having an injury or whatever, because they still train hard. I think they want to do it sooner rather than later, because I honestly think someone like Johnny Walker, even at heavyweight, if he went up, the length in, the confidence, just how he's developed as a fighter is a danger for the current timeline. Like, current timeline is OGs and legends. We've got a lot of people like Rakic's and Johnny Walker's and all these people coming up that you've never really heard of before that are fucking making big noise. It's like the next World Cup we watch, we'll never have heard of any of the fucking players, essentially. But it's still representing us. You know, all right, I'll get behind you. But when it was the Gary Linekers and the fucking Gascoignes, even though we weren't into football, you knew them because they were OG. So I just think John's playing a really clever game. Really fucking clever, because when he spoke to us and how he was candid about it, but there's a twinkle in his eye to say, I know I can do it.
Yeah.
It's a bigger me and it's a bigger DC. I've seen what he's done to Stipe, which I think caught everyone off guard. But I'm keen to see what happens next, because Stipe's a massive fucking hurdle because he's got a chip on his shoulder.
And I wonder if Stipe underestimated DC's power
Massively,
as well.
Massively.
Because, I mean, that could be a very different fight. But I think the only way it happens is if DC wins and then he fights John Jones at heavyweight. And I think the UFC would have to put big money towards both of them to make that fight happen, because you've got to entice John Jones to go up to heavyweight to give DC that
credit,
the credit, but also potentially an advantage of not having to cut weight to light heavy.
Yeah.
You've also got to give DC enough money for him to take the risk of losing to John Jones.
To lose the credit.
Both.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that then if John Jones goes up to heavyweight and beats DC,
a suicide watch.
That's DC's second place forever. As RJ said last night on Sirius XM when we were chatting, he said that he's a silver medalist. He'll always be a silver medalist in that regard.
Yeah,
and that's
true.
a big risk for DC to take, especially knowing he's coming to the end of his career and he's as competitive as he is. At least in this moment, if he beats Stipe again, then retires. At least in that moment, he knows that he was always the heavyweight champion, and Jones
a
didn't
legit
beat him
heavyweight champion. Yeah. And Jones, he could even see it in the storyline that Jones didn't have the balls to go up. I'm not saying Jones hasn't got the balls to go, but for him in his own justification in his head.
Yeah.
Because the problem is there's always cloud around the first two fights with DC and John. I know that obviously one of them he popped for.
Yeah.
But there's always question going back. Like once Anderson popped, it was like, does Rich Franklin know?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, does Chris Lieben know that Anderson's popped? So it's one of them where.
But that's the thing. How far back do you go to start? See, I can't devalue the first fight with Jones and DC. I felt like Jones fought a hard fight and he won. He was better than DC. And to be honest, like even the second fight, although like when I'm doing the analysis, I'll watch it, but I won't necessarily use clips from it. Like he still beat him.
Yeah.
The reason that he won the fight was still due to technical aspects of his game.
Yeah.
It wasn't because he was bigger or stronger. I'm not saying that there weren't advantages in the long run over the training camp if he was using something, which, I mean, what was the final verdict? Was he not cleared?
I don't know.
Was it like some kind of tainted?
Pictograph.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I kind of lost interest with that story when there was so little clarity.
That's because of he analysed the fight, the DC's fight game, the fight plan of dipping his head, he capitalised with a head kick. But it's always kind of, for me, because you never know, and it's like when you look at Anderson popping or even DC, John Jones popping, and it's like with the whole, what's his name, Gus. It's just completely, it changes everything, and it's just you never know what they're trying and getting away with, and what's an accident and what's not. And I think for me, it's all got to happen quite quickly, because at the minute it's aligned perfectly. If neither of them had opponents, it would be perfect timing. But now they've both got massive opponents that could essentially upset the whole game.
Yeah.
And then it's one of them where it never sort of, it's again, like I say, like Anderson and GSP, it sort of doesn't happen. And that's the worry. Because
But then, see, the thing is, though, if John Jones goes up to heavyweight now, it will look a lot more like he's chasing DC up to heavyweight. Whereas
true.
if he stays here and focuses on his division, and that's why I think he wants to, one of the reasons why he wants to fight regularly, is because he kind of wants to move through these contenders, especially because they're all quite similar in their style.
justify the move for the story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then he can go, well, I've come back to the division, I've cleared this division out again. Now what do? I guess I've got to go up to heavyweight. Whereas if he beats beats Gus, beats Smith, and then he's like, right, heavyweight.
Yeah.
That looks like he's chasing DC.
Because there are people still in the queue. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. I think it's. I mean, I genuinely think the Rakic and the Johnny Walkers are dangerous just because there's not as much film on them.
Yeah.
And they're just hungry. They're just hungry kids that are. I say hungry kids, it's like I'm a fucking granddad. But you know what I mean? They're hungry as fuck. Like Johnny Walker
They've not been to the title shot yet.
No, and he
Makes a
seems to
difference.
he seems to fuck people's head up. He's the nicest guy. He just seems like such a nice guy. But every time he's gone into the cage, it's like they've already gone, oh my God,
Yeah.
you're that fucking dude that's fearless. And it just, the problem is, it's almost, you remember when Diego Brandao came through and people were looking at him like a caged animal. Like, they were like, fucking hell, he's a savage. And then someone worked him out. I can't remember who it was. Apologies to
Poirier.
them. Was it Poirier? And Poirier was just like, I just got to put you on a lead and just figured him out. And it almost took that mystique away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you don't. At the minute, there's a lot of mystique.
For sure. For sure. There's a point in some of Brandao's fights where you can see he's decided he's not going to win the fight and he checks out.
Yeah.
And I've seen that. I saw it in the Poirier fight. I saw it in the McGregor fight as well.
Yeah.
Like that last left hand that he landed, he was looking at it as it was coming.
Here
he
it
went
comes.
down
This'll
with
do.
it. He's like,
Yeah.
I've had enough.
He just turns the Tasmanian devil
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. When that runs out, what do people have to fall back on?
Well, that's the problem.
And that's what we need to be asking about some of these new fighters in the
and that's
division.
what we're not getting to see it with someone like Johnny Walker because the fight's not going long enough. We're not like, if you remember when Czech Congo came in, Czech Congo was a savage, chiseled out of fucking granite, came in, iced people, and then all of a sudden got taken down. I was like, what are you like on the ground?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not that good, and just got mauled
Yeah.
and smothered by someone who didn't look like they should be smothering him. So it's because you get to see it, you get rid of that mystique. Same as Ronda and Holly, but I don't know, man.
John Jones is really good at making people feel uncomfortable, and it's when you see people feel uncomfortable that you're like, okay, maybe they're not as lethal as we initially thought.
There's a weird aura about him, and I don't mean that in like a godly sense. It's just a strange.
It's the way he has a presence when he's fighting, and it's the way that every time someone starts to do something and move, he just intercepts it. He just touches them, jabs them, pokes them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Feints to make them think about his
jerk reaction. And that's exhausting.
It just shuts them down.
Yeah.
It shut Gus down in the second one. I think his last two performances have been his most strategic and his most well thought out.
Yeah. But that's scary if you think about it. If he's completely clean and putting in 100% effort, and like when he fought Gus and it was a fantastic fight, and he said, I didn't really train, and Gus was like, it's the best training I've ever done.
Yeah,
that's terrifying for him then to come and beat Gus at his own game and sort of go, well, I figured it out and I've got a game plan this time and get it out of there. Gus looked like he'd finished within the second.
Yeah, and that's the thing is if he fights DC a third time, like, how does he then better that performance? Because when you watch his fights, his trajectory is that if he's fought you one time before, he's got your number.
And
he's figured you out. Yeah.
And that's what happened. But I don't know. The Stipe holds a big key to that. I know the Santos is first. I'm going to get to see that. But I don't know, man. I think there's far too many maybes, if, whats and buts. Especially for DC to go. If DC has a tough fight with Stipe and wins, he might just be like, do you know what? Fuck
I'm
this.
done. Yeah.
I like talking in the booth. I like talking to Dominic Snooze. I like just being in the fucking moment and not having to worry about my weight. I like Popeye's chicken. Fuck this. Which you can respect. He doesn't have to say he's retired, but he's achieved a shit ton.
Yeah, maybe he won't retire. Maybe it'll just kind of vacate the belt and just be like lingering in the background, waiting for the paycheck to be big enough.
Wait for someone to come in, and then he just runs from the commentary booth and just slides in.
Yeah, imagine over the
now.
octagon, shoves him wearing some weird cowboy boots. Like,
what was that?
I don't know. Anyway,
go on.
All right,
so
that's it. Cage Warriors this weekend. We'll talk about that next week or something because there's loads of good fights on there. I don't want to get too much into my head with it right now because there's loads going on. We've got 3 fighters on the card. Dean Truman's fighting Mads Burnell, which is an awkward one because I love Mads and he's a great fighter and I really enjoy talking to him. He's fighting Dean this weekend, so Mads is going to try and get Dean's belt. We've got Jai Herbert and Jack Grant for the 155 belt. Dalby against Ross Houston is going to be awesome. Nicholas Dalby's looked amazing since joining Cage Warriors. And
hasn't he?
Ross Houston, undefeated in 88 fights. He's a big monster of a welterweight that grinds and just crashes forward. So there's some really good fights on this card. Even down like Jason Radcliffe against Hook and Foss. Amasinga against O'Gorman. Hendon against Crawford. Yeah, this is a stacked card. Anyway, we're going to be there. We're going to be doing loads of stuff around it. The Raptors will be doing some Cage Warriors stuff, some embedded style stuff for the week. So you'll be getting some behind the scenes things, which we know you've been enjoying. So thanks for checking out the YouTube channel.
If you can get as well,
yeah,
definitely go. Because if I
oh
know,
yeah,
I know it's
sure.
last minute. Like Cage Warriors, I know it's not exactly UFC per se, but it's as close as it needs to be. It's fucking amazing.
I mean, it's
yeah, for
yeah,
real.
the
There's
fights
that much
are
energy
wild.
and that much effort.
Let's get into Loot Crate.
Okay.
The fights are wild because, like, all these guys are still trying to prove themselves. You know. Go on.
I am going to open this somehow.
Like, just looking down this card, like you could take at least half of the guys on this card and say, yeah, we're going to see them in the UFC one day.
Yeah, I mean, all of them in the Ultimate Fighter easily.
Yeah.
Could match it.
Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series is. Oh, what we got?
We've got
So,
all the good shit.
Again, we're not sponsored by Loot Crate yet.
We're not sponsored by Loot
we
Crate.
are,
We've bought a small one.
Well, I want to look at this first.
Let's have a look what you got.
Avengers.
You got the Avengers 3D comic standee.
So yeah, I'm sure you've got a story or two from your holiday.
Oh man, right. Let me hit you with some of these because.
How long have we been going for? I feel like we've been here for a little while now.
I'll be all right. We've got 10 minutes. So.
Go on then. Give me 10 minutes of Oxley holiday stories.
A couple of bits.
What? Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well remembered.
So do you want me to do my stories or do you want to do yours? Okay. So, as I mentioned, we went to Bulgaria, and normally we used to go in Spain. And I don't know if it's me and it's my thing, but I talk to anyone. I like talking to people.
Of course you do.
But I often meet people with like a smile or like, that's wicked. How fucking cool is that?
Love it.
That's staying here. That can be part of the set. Happy days. We will call you Bernard. Captain Bernard. What is that?
I don't know.
So, this time we've gone to Bulgaria and there's a lot of
straws. That's very cool.
Lifetime straws as well, so that's good.
Yeah, nice one, Loot Crate. That's a good shout.
Yeah.
We should get on that.
Fuck the plastic.
We should get on
That's it. Yeah, it's a really cool thing.
Cool.
Well, thanks for showing us up, Loot Crate. I've just released some new caps and a bum bag, but fuck yeah.
So when you get Lifetime straws in your second 100 box, you'll know where we got,
yeah.
got the idea from.
Exactly.
Yeah, you always get the medium shirts.
There you go. What have I got? It is a Marvel. Who's this? Is it Thor?
Oh, that's badass.
Oh, Thanos. Yo, how
that's
fucking
going
cool
on my
is
jacket. Check that out.
Holy shit.
Love a pin badge. I don't know what it's about.
All about pin badges. I don't know. It just looks like a fireball to me.
It does.
And you've got... There's a couple... Oh, shit. There you go.
These boxes are great.
I love it.
Oh, man. Is that a comic? Tell me that's a comic.
It's a nice piece of artwork.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool.
So,
go on, tell me your story.
So, we're over there, and it's like when you're going to breakfast or down the stairs or in a lift or whatever, it's just a nod and a smile.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking nothing. Like, there's a lot of people from Russia, Romania, like all these places that I'm not used to interacting
with. They're not
with.
very interactive cultures,
they
I recognise that when I was travelling.
Mate, and it's one of them where you're like, I smile, nod, or wink, or what? I'm bad for winking. I've got in so many fucking fights. When I was at Thornton's,
you're a winker, are you?
I am a full winker. I can remember being at Thornton's, and a girl asked me to pass her some lids for boxers, and I went, "Yeah, no worries," and passed them over. And it wasn't until basically the belt would start. You'd put a box on and a format, and they'd put chocolates in, and then it would come up. So as people went to break, if you were putting the boxes on and I was putting the lids on, you might be back from your break before I go. So I'm stood there and I'm quite happy talking to this girl and I'm fucking putting lids on and making these things. And it wasn't until the boxes went past that then her boyfriend came up to me and just fucking shoulder barged me. He was like, "All right, do you want to wink at me?" And I was like, "Yo, who the fuck are you?" And like he went full tilt, batshit crazy, like we're going to fight in the factory. And I was like, "What are you doing?"
You were winking.
Genuinely didn't know what I'd done. He was like, "You just winked at my missus." And I was like, "Her?" And he was like, "Yeah, her." And I was like, "All right." I was just like saying, "There you go." And he was like, "Well, don't do it again." And I was like, fuck you. I got my mate to beat him up. I didn't have to touch him. My mate was in the paras, so he fucking put him in a locker. But that's another story. So with me, I always wink, smile, whatever, and I got none of that. I just got fucking stoic looks. And it's intimidating because like a lot of people there, I think it was a family from, I think it was Romania, and they all look like Gru off of Despicable Me. They're like a tiny waist, big body, and skinhead with a hook nose. And I was like, oh my God, the fucking minions are here. And so I was like trying to interact with people, and it just baffled me, like the translation of certain things. While we were there, one woman walked towards me pushing a pushchair, and it's the translation of text. So I know I've got a Chinese symbol on my arm that might say Nissan Micra. I don't fucking know. It's meant to say love, I think. So with that in mind, wherever you look, there's like the most random things on all these fucking foreign people's fucking clothes.
Yeah.
And this woman walked up to me and she had a really nice sequin design of this like a Disney crab. Not Sebastian. It wasn't it wasn't Sebastian from Little Mermaid. It was more like the normal round crab.
Yeah.
And it just said underneath it, crabs. And I was like, why is that there?
Oh, wicked.
So, like, what the like, if I'm walking around with the fucking chlamydia, what the fuck?
I had a friend in when I was out in China, and I was 19. My friend Robin Gamble, and we went into the city one day to change some money and that kind of thing from like, whatever the travelers checks things that we used back in the day or whatever. So we got into the city, and he decided that while we were there, we were going to play a game to find the most ridiculous T-shirt that had been translated, and I can't remember what mine was. It was like Thursday ... Not now with an exclamation mark. It was odd. It was just really weird. He showed up with one that was full like Sex Pistols font, like it had all been cut out and glued on, and it said "Punk Rock: The Salad Night." Like
respect.
Brilliant.
What the fuck?
But
the salad night.
Does that happen when people come over here as well? Do they walk around and
They
see?
must do.
They must do, right?
They must walk past them and like
walk around the markets in London, going, "What? Why would that? Why would they have that on a T-shirt?"
Super dry. That doesn't say super dry underneath. That says Fuyong.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Exactly,
mate. Well, one dude was walking around the pool and he was mad confident. He was just like he'd bought 3 of his wife's confident, strutting around, and he had the skimpiest little Spanx on. And the words on his shorts said, fashion conscious, trendy, ? On his sign, I was like,
beautiful.
Fashion conscious, what the fuck? Who's like, I work within typesets and fonts and like a lot of the stuff that you use is like, even if it says full Reptile, established then, or whatever, like ESTD or like a little tagline or something. A lot of the elements of design are like bumph. They're just like that Lonsdale bag there. It's got Lonsdale, then it says London. It might say established since, or like punching proud since 01. I don't know what the fuck it says, but they're always like little just nonsensical elements that fill out something. And literally every element that everyone had on was just dog shit. And I was like, but they were walking around like in Fucci and like real shit fake Gucci, and like walking around like Charlie Big Dick. And I was thinking, oh, where the fuck are you getting this confidence from, my dude? Like you'd walk down the streets of London and you would be booed. Do you know what I mean? Because it was just, but it was there. Everything had gold on it and was brandished in like over the top elements. I'm thinking it's just not my style, but to see like a woman came down to the pool and her lips were huge. She had massive fucking glasses on, Fucci fucking like moo, and then these weird like she'd squeezed her feet into like a size, I don't know. It was probably a men's 9 that she'd squeezed them into, but she needed a 12, and it was just like 2 pork joints on the end of her cankles, and she just marching around the pool like mad confident. I was just thinking, are you fucking serious? Like, the best bit was one guy that was walking around all day, and I've not got a big problem with people that vape because I used to smoke and I know what it's like to make the transition, all the other stuff. But this guy, he was called Michel. So he had a girl's name, in my opinion. This was after I saw him like fucking. He was we could have been best friends, but he fucked up. So instead of me being bros with him, he always had his snap on backwards. He was always filming someone or something, and he was on his Canon vape, like this fucking, I don't know enough about vapes to know that the mods and all the other shit, the fucking batteries, and they've linked it up to a Commodore 64. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. But he's like chimneying this massive cloud. Can't do that. This massive cloud of shit constantly. And while there's like entertainment and stuff on. And anyway, him and his missus were at the bottom of the pool and he was like walking past. And his kids were trying to squirt him and he was like doing this bit of dodge and being like fucking super dad dick 1000. And he's just stood there fucking dodging. And next minute he turned around to his missus as if to look at her as if to say, "See that? You're going to get some of this." Lost his footing, scrambled, did a full Scooby-Doo legs in the air and was in the pool. And I made sure that he knew I'd seen everything. I just lay on a lilo staring at him.
Brilliant.
For a good 5 minutes. I didn't let him know that I hadn't. I was like, "Nice one, Michelle, you box." Fucking what? Crazy. But the other translation thing very quickly, because I know I've got a couple of things which fucking, I kept track of shit while I was away. When we were away, another thing that blew my fucking mind, we went into Nesibar, which is like the oldest town in the world, which has got, I think, 1,000 churches and 2,000 people trying to sell you a fucking bracelet. It was lovely if you told them to fuck off, but the whole place was beautiful. And we were walking around the little town and there's all the normal souvenirs. So I was looking for shit for you, for everyone, like to bring back bits.
I got a wicked Yoda little blown glass.
That was cool, right?
Little bowl.
Yeah, there you go.
Not a bowl for food.
No, you'd not get much cereal in it, would you? No, you'd get some cabbage in it. So
I need some cereal afterwards. Though.
Yeah, some of the lettuce, please. So while I'm stood there, I was looking for the rest of my party. And they were stood at this like little souvenir shop, because you know what kids like, they want to stop at every fucking shop so they can buy something that's going to break in 20 minutes. So they were stood there buying stuff, and I looked around and there was mugs, like mugs for tea. And there was all the different football teams, there was all the different fucking Marvel characters. And then on a shelf, on a row on its own, was a fuckload of mugs of Adolf Hitler and Putin and swastikas. And I was just like, how popular are these?
Yeah.
And can you point out the people that have bought them, please?
Yeah. How many of these have you sold?
Yeah.
How many did you buy?
Who the fuck do we need to end? Like, who's going back from holiday and like, I bought you an Adolf mug. Like, do you know what I mean? What the fuck?
There was a box. Do you remember when we went into that shop in Stockholm? We were looking for adapters and we were chatting to Volkan about the headphones. Like right next to the door in that shop, it was on the behind the scenes thing. There was a box of these like rubber squeezy heads that were all Donald Trump, like with their mouth open, and it just squeezed it. It was like a dog toy.
Yeah.
And it just squeezed it, and it made this really awkward
Someone's
noise.
made that.
They bought a box of them to sell in this shop.
They'll fly out.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't buy any of them fuckers.
And some fucking dolphin will be choking on it in 5 years' time.
It just blows my mind. Shit that goes... I mean, I know what it takes to get something from a concept to a fucking product, and it's hard. It's not an easy thing.
No.
So you know when someone's gone through and made shit fake packaging, shit fake product, put them together, it's 90% ash and fucking, I don't know, dog turd, but they've still put it out there to sell. And I don't know, it was a fucking extreme experience.
So you didn't buy any souvenirs then that have broken and fallen apart? Do you remember when we used to go on holiday and there was always that particular thing this year?
Yes.
Like I remember one year it was Scatch, and everyone had like these weird different like
yo-yos,
shit sketches.
light up yo-yos. I can
light
still
up
do
yo-yos. The cradle.
Yeah, I can do that. I can walk
light
the
up
dog.
yo-yos. Then there was those things, the clacker things.
Yeah, and a Diablo. Did you ever have a Diablo?
Diablo, of course.
Fucking want to... Yeah,
Yeah.
still got it.
Hey, still got it.
Yeah,
Still
I have
got
got a
it.
Diablo somewhere. But
Yeah.
So there's still
Weird,
that.
innit? It was like a seasonal thing.
Yes, but you still get that now, and they do often bring out some of the old shit that we had, because essentially it's an analog toy that's not a fucking screen.
Sketch was good though.
Yeah, well it was. Like we mentioned this on the
You're
other
probably
podcast.
too young for Sketch, aren't you? Yeah.
It was like 2 plastic discs. One had pink Velcro, one had green Velcro, and the ball was pink Velcro, green Velcro, and you'd hold it on your hand and go...
Throw it,
And then
catch
be
it.
It was honestly, if you got the cheap version, the first time you peeled the ball off the Velcro, the Velcro came with it.
Yeah.
So then you had some weird tennis hand thing, which was shit.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it still comes round. So like, what they had was splat that they've got at the minute. Everything's squishes, slime, splat balls, essentially toxic hazards.
Yeah.
So like, this bloke's just sat there and he's got like a tomato and he's throwing it at a table and he's going...
Yeah.
And then reforming and throwing it again. And the one he's got he's probably bought from Amazon, but the one he's had made was made from fucking Famazon. I don't know where the fuck he's got it from, but the kids were like, break. And I was like, oh.
It's a poo bag with peanut butter in it.
Yeah, this is it. Well, yeah, exactly. But
let me guess. Hang on. This guy's doing that, and he's got like a round tray with a little bit of a lip on it, and there's a little fucking dog that winds up, that walks around and yaps.
And
sits on its
backflips.
back legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just keeps throwing it on that, and it just keeps...
Yeah. Do you know how many things like that I've bartered for? And the problem is I haggle someone to the point where it's not worth them like making a living anymore, and then it'll break on the same journey, and I have to revisit them and go, returns policy? And they're like, fuck you. I'm like, I'm taking 3 of these unless you replace this one. And it's scary because it's like, while we were there, they don't seem to, everything's so fucking cheap. But we went to a water park one day and I bought some goggles. And basically, where we were way outside of Sunny Beach, because there's Sunny Beach in the middle, which is a bit like Jeremy Carl's waiting room, which is it's all right. But we're walking along there with the kids, and my daughter Libby's like, "There's boobs over there. There's boobs over," and it's like strip clubs, sex shops, and they weren't. No, they were
Not
puppies'
good
ears,
boobs.
man. They were puppies' fucking ears. Not even puppies' ears. Yeah, lick your lips, man. They were fucking scary. He
loves a MILF.
They were deflated pancakes, my dude. So at one point, we were trying to shield them from all the bar because it wasn't like Skegness where the shit comes out at night. It was just always there. And we went up to one of them catapult machines. You know, we were going to the beach, we were going to the prom, so we were just going to the pier, sorry. So as we were walking along, Libby just started laughing her head off. I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, them girls have got their boobs out. And I was like, what? And they'd basically both gone on this catapult thing, got it cheaper because they went topless, so the guy could take a picture of their tits. That's your business model? That's your fucking business model, my dude, crack on. And essentially, I looked at my 2 daughters, and Moo was fucking mortified, who's 11, who I know is going to be the one on holiday with like a white nose, a fucking big sensible hat, and like dressed up properly. Whereas Libby's going to be walking around in probably nothing and just being a free spirit and be like, fuck it. And it was her, how like terrified she was of these girls on a hen do, and how much Libby was like, tag me in, motherfucker. I'm fucking well up for this. So we where we were was outside of Sunny Beach. So we went, there was only one place to get these fucking goggles from. And because my skin's really bad, which I need to hit on Brad Pickett in just a second.
Oh yeah, the
remind
figure
me.
8 stuff.
Fuck me. So my whole face exploded into shit because I'm going down a water slide and constantly getting wet and the sun baking it. My eczema flared up and everything was horrendous. So I thought I'd best get some goggles for a water park. So I made a special journey to this shop. I paid, I think it was 20 lev, which is about £9, which is expensive, I think, for goggles in a cheap place, but we were restricted to the fucking place and they were shit goggles. So I put them in the bag with the intention of like, I don't feel good about this. I've not made the right decision. Went to the water park, then realised you can't wear goggles on a fucking water slide anyway, you fucking idiot. Like, they always make you take them off. So I spent the whole day there, and on the way back, I marched into the shop, very politely. I went, hi dude, I bought these for my daughter earlier, and unfortunately, she doesn't want them. Here's my receipt, I'd like to bring them back. And he went, no. I was like, so are you talking to me? I said, what do you mean? No. Just like, I need to bring them back. You can give me credit. I'm going to buy some more shit from your shop. So whatever, I've been buying here all week. And he was like, no. I was like, no, I need to bring them back because I don't need them. They're brand new. I've not touched them. No one's opened the packet. They're absolutely as they were. They'll go back on the shelf. Because my intention then was, if you're not going to let me bring these back, I'm going to rob everything from this fucking shop, put it in a bag, set fire to it in front of the shop the day I leave. So fuck you, dude. So I went from naught to ragga real quick because I was like, this guy's fucking got me to the point where I've had a really nice day. I want to get my £10 back, which is the most fucking stupid thing about it. And it was more the principle that he was like, fuck you. So I started causing a scene, which no one really likes when a British person starts causing a scene. So then he went over and I was like, I need the money back. And he was like, no. And I was like, why? And he went, old politician. And I was like, dude, we can't play cod shit, mallet here because I can hit you with some fucking stupid words you're not going to understand. So don't hit me with old politician. This is bullshit. So this little woman came out. I'd like to call her Little Hitler. And she just stood there and looked at me, looked me up and down and just laughed. And I just went, what's funny? And she went, looked me up and down again and laughed again. And I was like, right, so I just take my money back then. Went over to the till, put the goggles down. I was like, yeah, so I'll have my money. So it'll be 20 lev, please. No. And I was like, it'll be 20 lev. I'll have that money back now. I'm just going to put these back for you. I want to get my money. And completely just fucking bullied my way into her. She walked in, grabbed the goggles, threw them outside, and slammed 21 lev coins into my hand. And I was like, thank you very much, darling. See you later. I thought, fuck you. But, you know, because it's not what we're used to.
Yeah.
Oh, fuming. Fucking fuming. And I just...
You're still angry about it now,
I fucking am. Yeah, because to be fair, I'd spent a lot of money in that fucking stupid shop, and they basically fucked me out. Well, they tried to fuck me out £9, but they were shit goggles anyway. I got some from Home Bargains when I got back for $198. Check that out.
How about that?
That's 4 lev. That's a deal. But I don't think there's other shit on there, but I can't really think that you'd want to hear any more stories.
Well, we'll circle back around to it. I'm sure
we'll.
I need to give a shout out to Canazen and thank them.
Yes.
Because my mum's friend Sarah has been struggling with MS for a long while, and they, for no good reason at all, I basically, they sent me some stuff to try. I tried it was amazing. Sarah was struggling on loads of different painkillers and not being able to sleep and all these kind of things. So I passed on a bottle of the full strength stuff for her.
Okay.
And within a few months, she was off all of her meds, which is amazing. And I mean, it's MS. It doesn't better,
go away.
You know what I mean? You just manage it as best you can, and like she's got her speech back, and she's able to move better. I mean, it's the quality of life that she's got now in comparison.
It's miracle juice.
It is amazing. And so I just sent a message to Canazen. I was just like, thanks for producing this, for making this available. Here's a success story for you. And then they started sending us stuff. So thanks to Canazen. We very much appreciate that. Make sure you check their website out. Check out their CBD. It's like the highest quality CBD you can get on the market.
How are we spelling that?
Canaxen. Canazen.
So it's with an X, not with a Z. Not with a Z. Okay. And they've got a website.
Yeah. The UK based, I think. Just have a look at their stuff, and there's always kind of codes and stuff. I'll post the code on the socials so you can see what it is and get some discount on this.
It's
stuff.
good, man. I mean, it's one of them where you know when someone doesn't want to make it legal when you know it's good. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a bit like natural born killers.
It's going to affect so many other people's businesses, so many other pharmaceutical companies' businesses. I
just believe so much more in a natural element of something like that.
For sure.
Well, that was what I was going to mention very quickly about Brad, not to piggyback off what you were saying.
Your Vigorate stuff.
I bought myself some coconut soap, thinking that I'll go organic, and it sort of dried me out a bit. And obviously, with my skin being a bit shitty, I actually took the Vigorate with me, which is. It's like a little...
Oh, I gave you one of the little ones.
Yeah, it was wicked little trial.
Uh-huh.
I've got one of the normal ones, but it's weird. It's like a yellow liquid. And it's cool. I like all of it. I like the branding. It's got a cool smell and everything. But it's one of them that when you've experienced so many different fucking like soaps and emulsifiers and all this other shit, you get to the point where you just lose all faith or lose all hope in anything. And obviously you'd passed it on to me from, I think, was it the Smash Mouth Barber?
Yeah, no, Brad sent me some.
Brad sent you some?
Yeah, Smash Mouth Barber put some in that bag for me, but Brad sent me some a while ago.
So thankfully to all of them, for whatever reason of the universe to fucking land it on my bathtub, I got this stuff and I started using it, and my skin instantly sprang back to not 100%.
Yeah.
But it was insane to
good stuff.
Honestly. And when you read it, it's obviously for fighting, it's to avoid infection and staph and all this other stuff. So it's brilliant to have, but genuinely, I know there's a lot of people out there that are suffering either one way or another with skin or psoriasis or eczema or fucking stress or whatever it is. And there's a lot of people that are currently trying this new beeswax, and it's heavily sponsored and promoted on Facebook. Like, I started using this and then I grew another 2 arms. It's like, fucking hell, it's not that good. But for me, it's a genuine thing of like, for whatever is wrong with me, this helps. So just a massive thank you to them guys more than anything, because on
we're going to give them a shout and get it stocked in the gym so we can sell it and use it in the showers, because that stuff that Jimmy Warhead's buying for the shower at the moment, it smells delicious, but because it smells so delicious, I'm not sure it's that
Imperial leather foam burst. Jimmy, strawberries and cream, man. What are you doing? Yeah, this is it. The smells are good, but then you realise that it's just burnt your tattoos off, and it's like, oh, that's not good.
That's it, exactly that. And that's why I like that Vigorate stuff. There's no shit in it, no sodium lauryl.
It's just impressive. It was impressive more than anything. The fact that I've tried a million things, and it does depress you. It gets you down, because the problem is you can't get away from your skin. It sounds fucking stupid, that does, but you can't. the nerve element of something when you want to literally scratch your fucking arm off.
Dude, I used to have eczema when I was a kid, and it was, for me, it was dairy though. It was as soon as I took dairy out, it cleared up, and it's one thing that's made a massive difference. But I think it's different for everybody. It's inflammation, isn't it?
Yes.
But that Vigorate is.
Yeah, they did a good job. So thank you very much, Bradley, and whoever else is involved, because I'm sure there'll be someone else that's helping One Punch out with that. But it was good shit. I loved it. But I don't think I have any. I will have shout outs and other stuff. I need to tell you about a bath clogger at some point, but that's going to fucking spin you out. So
we'll save that one for later.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you to Vigorate. Thank you to Canazen. Thank you to Rigor
the Dragon.
Rigor the Dragon. Thanks to the Raptors. Thanks to IMAF for having the Raptors out there the other week.
New
Cage
merch.
Warriors this weekend. New merch. FullReptileCollective.co.uk. We've got these fancy hats and
socks. Very, very sexy socks.
All right. Well, next week we're going to be coming to you live from Vegas.
We are. We're going to be there early.
How exciting!
You are going to be. We're going to be a lot. Well, we're going to be putting out a lot of content.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. So stay tuned in. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. Full Reptile Radio, Fight Network. Give us a subscribe, and you can follow the Vegas Diaries and the fun that we're having.
Yes, and very quickly.
Go on.
We're going to close the shop again, but this time we're closing the shop because we're in Vegas.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and we're going to be doing competitions while we're in Vegas as well. So it will require most of you being there because we want to be giving stuff out. So.
But what I am going to do, keep an eye on the social. I know that a lot of you are very vocal on social as far as commenting on YouTube and also on Instagram. I'm going to be doing a lot of giveaways. So when I get back, I'm going to like to think that I'm going to have a list of names, one way or another, that I've been in touch with you to get your details so I can send you a shirt or a bag or a badge or whatever the shit it is. There's going to be a lot of interaction with our social. So keep an eye out on there because while we're away, the shop's down because I can't send you anything. So just wait till we're back and we'll send you some free shit as well.
Wicked.
Nice one, dude.
All right. Catch you next time.
In a bit.